all proceeds from Bowberry biscuit sales to the K-Yao Cancer Fund. Just buy a Bowberry biscuit. You'll be doing some good and getting something good. So what are you waiting for? Hurry, it's bow time.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Still well above normal this afternoon with high temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll see increasing clouds as the day wears on, and it'll be cloudy and mild tonight with a low of 47. Tomorrow morning, just a few light showers during the morning commute, and during the evening commute, a line of thunderstorms comes through. It'll be a very warm day tomorrow with a high of 75.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock, check of your money. Dow Jones is up 267 points to 44,980.
R.J. Davis going to try a long three in transition. Count it. We were looking right down the barrel, and he splashes it home.
Sends it to the right. Evans a three. Count it.
Rebound pulled in by Lubin. Here come the Tar Heels the other way. Oh, my goodness, Ian Jackson with a tomahawk in transition.
Bounces one inside. Cooper stole it. Cutting in front. A chance to run. All the way to the other end. A dunk of a lifetime.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. It is Battle of the Blues week. Inching closer and closer and closer. One of the coolest events in sports right here in our own backyard on Saturday, UNC at Duke. Thank goodness you throw out records and history and how teams are playing in a rivalry game. Thank goodness. Because the records say this one won't be close. Because the form that they're in says this one won't be close. Because the statistics say this one won't be close. Everything I look at, right, as I do the prep that we do going into games, says there's a bad matchup for UNC. Oh, Duke can do this. Duke can do that. If you look at the advanced analytics, the DVOAs, the Ken Palms, whatever stat you want, you see Duke near the top of the entire country. See UNC some distance behind. But no matter what you see, no matter what stat, no matter what prediction, what analyst says, you can always respond with, yeah, but it's that rivalry, so you never know. Which is a saving grace for anticipation for this one. John Shire, let's jump to the clip where he pretty much says just that. The Duke head coach earlier today says that he knows that the UNC game is always dangerous and the records don't matter.
To sit up here and say, just like another game, and, I don't think I can say that because, College game day isn't here. every game. The anticipation, the noise around it. I'm not going to act like that's not there. That is, but that's also what you want to be in. The thing that can impact is your preparation, your focus. And so that's really, to me, what it comes down to as a player or as a coach. You're not approaching it differently. You just understand that there's different circumstances around it. Just like if you're, fortunate to advance in ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament. And so not every game's the same, but the focus and preparation is. And that's how we're going to approach this one.
Not every game is the same. And I love coaches that address that and agree with that, right? Because if you want to just lie, you can, and say, oh, this game's the exact same as every other game on the schedule and we're not treating things any different. No, this one's different.
Oh, it's different.
And thank goodness, because let's say it weren't different. Let's say it were the exact same. Let's take away the jerseys. Let's take away the history. Let's take away the records over time and everything else. If this weren't a rivalry, I'd sit back and I'd go, if Zach Austin from Pitt gives you fits as a wingspan-y, lengthy 6'7" guy, what the heck are you going to do with Cooper Flagg? A 6'9", maybe even a little above, lengthier, wingspan-ier, athletic guy. If this weren't a rivalry, I'd sit back and I'd say, if your effort and execution over an entire game have been questioned by outsiders and insiders alike, right? The media, the observers, the analysts, as well as your own head coach, what are you going to do to stop a Duke team sending waves of future NBA players at you? If you're undersized, I'm talking to UNC here. If you're undersized, how do you handle a team with no one shorter than 6'5" in their rotation? Their starting lineup, 7'2", 6'9", 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", and you're an undersized team with multiple players out there that are flirting at 6 foot. Right? Elliot Cadeau, not the tallest guy in the world. R.J. Davis, not the tallest guy in the world. Even Seth Trimble, who plays bigger than he is 6'3". But it is a rivalry game. So it's not that simple. The equation is different. UNC beat Duke 2 times last year, which means R.J. Davis, Jalen Washington, if he plays, haven't been updated on that one. Withers, Elliot Cadeau, Seth Trimble, other guys I just mentioned can walk into Cameron with a little extra swag. And last time we were here, we left with a W.
Hey, been there, done that.
Even with a rough season so far, that wasn't against Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we may have lost to Pitt. That wasn't against Duke. Last time we were here, we won. And that is good. That is good for your mentals. That is good for your history. I don't know why this pops up, probably because of the algorithm knows that I am a big ACC and Big Triangle basketball fan. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the clip of Tyler Hansborough in some podcast talking about how one of his most famous or favorite memories are all the wins he's gotten in Cameron. And he talked about it was at J.J. Redick's last game against UNC, and we won. And that's – think of all of the memories that Tyler Hansborough had.
Gerald Henderson punching him in the face.
There you go. Well, even if that was his favorite memory, I don't know if he'd be out there admitting it publicly, right? Oh, favorite memory from my playing career? Gerald Henderson punching me in the face. Be weird. Here's the thing. I actually like this game for both teams, right? And I hope, when you go to either of these schools, you go in with the expectation that this game is going to be put on a pedestal and it's going to be big and there's going to be game day and there's going to be all the pump. Jay Williams, who we're talking to later on in the show, we have that conversation for you coming up. He's giving away $100,000 of his own money Saturday morning to a fan, or he could if they make the shot, in a contest, see if they can hit a half-court shot. That doesn't happen on a normal, regular, like, hey, we're on the road at Syracuse game. This is a big deal. And you go to these schools for that reason, and I like that for both teams. If there's going to be a game that ignites a UNC opening tip to final buzzer effort game, it's going to be in Cameron. You're going to feed off of that energy, right? I say this all the time. I think A lot of athletes would rather shut up a loud away crowd than even ignite their home crowd because it's us against the world. And for Duke, you circle this game for 100 reasons. Playoff-like intensity. Right? It's the things that Duke has done this year will be tested even more in a game like this. Again, I in preparation for the Jay Williams interview that's coming up later in the show, I went back and I wanted to make sure I knew all of the Jay Will lore, right? So I go to the Duke site, and on the 10-year anniversary of the Miracle Minute where they scored the 12 points in the last minute 5, he and Battier went crazy, Nate James. They did a oral history of it, right? So I went.
That was against Maryland in 2000.
Yep. It was against the Juan Dixon, Steve Blake Maryland team that ended up winning a national championship as well.
On the road in College Park, too.
Absurd game. So I was like, let's go. Let me read this to get the full myth. And do you know what Jay Will actually said in the article in the interview? He said, I played horrible for the first 3/4 of that game because I had been building it up for 3 days. I was mentally exhausted by the time the game started. And by that point, I mean, he was, player of the year in the country. He's not a freshman experiencing big games for the first time. Duke is going to be tested that way. Con Knipple, Cooper Flagg, Common Malawash. These guys, Isaiah Evans, these guys have not experienced this at all. My dad's a big Duke fan. I've referenced that a few times. Had season tickets back in the 80s. He loved watching the NC State game. One of the things he loved about that, right? NC State punched him in the mouth early, got the lead early. He loved that they didn't overreact, right? There was no big performance. There was when a timeout was called, they just went over there and tried to fix it, and they came back out. That's what he took away from it. That will be tested against UNC. You give up 4 buckets against UNC. You give up a 6-0 run. Staying calm and staying the course is going to be more difficult in a rivalry game, even at home. We have R.J. Davis, the UNC returning ACC Player of the Year, on staying calm and present in a game like this.
I would say mindset's number one, and then at the same time, just taking possession by possession, right? So basketball is a game of runs, and especially against Duke and the years I played them, it's always been like a back-and-forth game and kind of an exchange of the buckets. So just know that every possession matters. You got to get a great shot, either a great shot or either a stop as well. So mindset, possession, and staying together, and kind of just having like blinders on because of the environment, because of the rivalry, right? And a lot of anticipation always gets built up for these games. A lot of pressure, and just a lot of fans, and just overall bragging rights of teams on both ends of wanting to win. So you kind of just gotta ignore all of that at the same time and just go out there and play basketball like you've been doing for 20 games that you've been playing.
I love that. Just bring up like 35 things that are different and special, and then you just got to ignore all that and play basketball, which is the push and pull of going into a game like this. And last thing I'll say before we move on, we'll come back and touch on this game throughout the show. Last year, the game that took place between these two teams in Cameron could be described as the Cormac Ryan game. Knocked down a bunch of threes. That was the surprise.
31 points that game from her.
31. I think he broke like a Hubert Davis record for UNC points in Cameron. Maybe I forget exactly what it was, which is ironic because he's the head coach. But the reason I bring that up is something's going to happen Saturday that we don't anticipate. Something will happen that you can't have game planned for. You couldn't have game planned for. Cormac Ryan will catch fire, right? Something will happen. Foul trouble for somebody, a ridiculous dunk from someone who you don't even think is a dunker. Like something will happen that you have to adjust to. It's just the way the rivalry works.
Or there's someone that doesn't really play a whole lot, all of a sudden gets a moment, they spark for 12 points in a random 2-minute stretch. Like, wait, who is that guy?
If Washington can't play for UNC, maybe James Brown, the freshman who hasn't played much, ran a couple dunks, or Common Malawash for Duke maybe knocks down 2 threes in the first 4 minutes. You
never know.
Something unusual will happen, and it's how you react to that that'll also help decide who wins the game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's all coming up on Saturday. Luckily, we have a nice little on-ramp to talk about it. Tonight, Canes, Blackhawks, home. so many storylines. But before we can even touch on the narratives that I am loving heading into that game, here's Dennis Cox.
Folks, it's back. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Okay, well, what's back? The beautiful weather? Well, yeah, that is back right now, at least for the time being. But what's back is your chance to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle. The Law Tigers, Carolina Hurricanes, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they've all teamed up together once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to enter, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Pictures of the bike are going to be right there on the site. Again, caniacsbike.com. It's a custom-built motorcycle built by Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, custom painted by Shiny Side Paint. Ashley did a phenomenal job over there with Cane's colors, Cane's logos, white wall tires, everything. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. You have until April 6th to enter, but why wait? Enter now. Go to caniacsbike.com. By the way, if you are ever injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks towards all the weaving storylines that converge at the Lenovo Center tonight for Canes Blackhawks. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Eagles' run game is based on the offensive line. Saquon Barkley does a great job with making second and third level defenders miss, but he's 15, 20 yards downfield. He doesn't get touched for 20 yards. I have a hard time saying that guy is the most important player on the team when nobody touches him for 2 first downs.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen. The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Now the Rangers send it across the Panajad in with his step, and Mr. Anderson shuts him down again. Oh, Frederick Anderson. He's been a rock, and the best chance for the Rangers has just been stopped here in the third period.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I think we're in for a really fun game tonight. By the way, it's a hockey night in Carolina. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Stormwatch ahead of the game with Adam Gold, as always. Now, I'll be honest with you. If there were no kind of side stories to follow, I'd still really enjoy tonight's game, right? It's Canes. They're on a little bit of a playing well streak. I would be into the game. But I love a game that has side plots, right? I love a game that has these narratives woven into it, right? And this one tonight has maybe too many. It's overflowing with intrigue. It's like SNL, Saturday Night Live's in their 50th season. It's like Stefan, right? This one has everything. It's got a Teuvo Teravainen reunion. That would have been enough, right? Teuvo Teravainen coming back, that's an interesting bit, right? And he obviously has a history with both Chicago and Carolina. Now they're converging. It's his first time back since leaving Carolina. There's national friendships, right? He and others that are now on the team. That would be enough right there. Something kind of, okay, I'll also track how Teuvo reacts or interacts with everybody and how he attacks players that used to be his teammates and now the teammates attack him and everything else. But then you add in, it's also Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall's home debut since the trade for the Carolina Hurricanes. Maybe the story of the last, 2 months in the NHL is now coming to Raleigh for the first time. 2 games on the road. Now they're back. And they're both still hunting for their first goals as Canes. So they're like, not only are they making their home debut, they're also looking to, check off a whole bunch of firsts off their to-do list as Carolina Hurricanes. Also, speaking of Taylor Hall, there's so many stories. It's his first game against the team that he was playing for like a week ago.
Yeah, literally.
And by the way, didn't probably utilize him. Didn't play him enough. There's probably some like, hey, I see what I can do. Look what I do when I'm cut loose. Look what they're using me to do.
It's funny. His last game for the Chicago Blackhawks was a home game against the Carolina Hurricanes.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
That's funny too. Freddie Anderson is going to be celebrated for his 500th career game and his 300th win. So he's not on the ice, right? Or at least hopefully. Pyotr Kochetkov will be the guy in net, but Freddie Anderson will be celebrated, which is just another side plot because 500 games for a goaltender is nothing to scoff at. It's something that should be celebrated, and you don't want to sweep that under the rug with a big game going on. And then on top of that, Sebastian Aho is a game-time decision with an illness, which Jack Roslovic had missed practices and games with an illness, so maybe there's something going around. That's just another are we going to get the flu game? Are we going to get Jordan after the food poisoning? Are we going to get the Sebastian Aho flu game? By the way, shout out to Chip Alexander. I saw this in one of his tweets. Covers the team. Teuvo was told that Aho was battling an illness and game time decision, and Teuvo Teravainen said, "Oh, I bet he plays."
Hey, he's a warrior.
Yeah. Know that guy. I'm not going to go out there with any expectations that number 20 won't be in the opposing team's lineup. And if we wanted to dive in further, I'm sure we could find even more storylines that if all of these weren't going on, they would move to a more prominent place. Right? Svech playing well on a bit of a heater might be like the entire narrative if there wasn't all this other stuff going on. Maybe if Riley Stillman's back in the lineup. There's smaller side plots, but you don't need those when you have these giant ones. And because of all of that, here's how I'm kind of feeling it. This roster is brand new, okay? The way we judge this squad is different than the way we judged the squad 2 weeks ago, right? This roster is brand new. So in learning the personality of this roster, I think we're going to kind of get to see if this team yet. I don't want to act like if they don't show it today, they're never going to show it. We get to see if this team has the X factor thing today, right? I talk about the Jeters, the Kobes, Crosbys of the world. They didn't get like Jeter didn't get 2 hits in every game of his entire career, but it does seem like every time like a kid saved up all their pennies and bought tickets to go to one game that Jeter had a double in the 9th inning. Like it always felt like whatever the occasion was to rise to, that he rose to it. I've talked about this with Crosby, and actually it happened I think last year. The Penguins were coming to Carolina, and I was like, what you hope happens is you hope Carolina wins by 2 goals, but everybody leaves with that one hey, Sidney Crosby story, right? You want to make sure your team wins, but if you're going to see a guy that's going to go into some upper levels of the Hall of Fame, you want to be like, hey, it's pretty sweet. And then I want to say, and I don't want to quote this because someone will go check the stat. I think he had 2 goals and the Canes won, and I was like, that's the thing, right? Like that is there are a bunch of people that bought tickets because they're like, oh, the Penguins are in town, let me see it. They got their story. Canes got to win, but you knew Crosby was going to do something. This team, if they have that it thing, tonight's going to be one of those games. Right, the game will start with energy, just like at a horse race and the gates are closed, just waiting to start sprinting. The energy's already going to be at the door, or for a better way to describe it, since the Lenovo Center also co-hosts NC State men's basketball. The feeling when the home team was down 15. And they've scored 14 straight to make it a 1-point game, and a 3-pointer is in the air to take a 2-point lead, and it's in the air, and if it goes in, goodness gracious, the roof is going to come off this place, right? It's everybody's hands are already in fists because they're just ready to pump the fist pump. Everybody's waiting. That's how the game's going to start tonight. That's how the game's going to start. This is the first time the Lenovo Center crowd, the home crowd, gets to see Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. You're playing well. You just boat raced for Zippy the Rangers. People are going to show up ready to scream. It is going to be a warm room. If they have the it thing, something will happen in the first period that gives everyone the chance to just let that release. That's what's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to be a finished product. I'm not saying they'd have to play well the whole game. Heck, sometimes energy like that leads to a turnover right in the middle of the ice and a goal the other way because you're too amped. But I want to see if they can sense the moment and find a way to fulfill it. Rod Brind'Amour talked about Mikko and Hall both having to fit in and the adjustment time that we will allow them, even as we still ask for a couple signature moments.
Well, they're smart hockey players. I mean, hockey's hockey. There's certain fundamentals that go through it for every team. And, when you're a good player, you can adjust, and I think quickly, and those guys have been around. And but it'll take time, just more than anything, just get comfortable feeling like part of the group and not thinking out there. I think that's just going to take time. That's natural. But those guys are veteran guys.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. The high hockey IQ guys, I'm not saying they're going to be out there playing sloppy as we give them time to adjust. I'm saying the best is still yet to come, right? They will only get to know each other better and better and better. But it's going to be a fun game, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, like you said, all the storylines. But could you imagine if Rantanen and Hall, if those guys score tonight? That place is going to explode.
We do have first goal scorer predictions coming up at 4:33. Who's going to score the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it? And I'll just say it. If one of the new guys scores it in the first, it'll go bonkers. Mm-hmm. Just absolute. Or even if they're involved in it. If you get a Svetch goal off a feed like Rantanen had against the Rangers to start things, or the one from Hall, that right there would be absolutely bananas as well.
Folks, you want Mikko Rantanen to stay? Show him love.
It's good. It's a first impression. Can't make a first impression twice.
Yep. Show him love.
That's really a good point. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That game we'll talk about throughout the show because there's no way my excitement's going to wane. But before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, we have our Dean's List. We have to pass out some praise to college sports newsmakers from the area. And we'll hear from Jay Williams, the former National Player of the Year, national champion, second overall pick out of Duke, who will be back in the area for UNC at Duke this weekend. All of that coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Can your heating and air system handle the winter chill? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SALE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SALE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SALE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
30 for 30 presents the New York Sack Exchange.
Flecko, Lyon, Salam, Gastineau.
If you hit a quarterback and if they got up, you didn't do your job.
They were a brotherhood.
There is no magic formula for controlling the New York Sack Exchange.
But brothers don't always play nice.
Flacco could not stand me.
I should have been waiting all day for you.
Well, get down on the stairs.
I don't know what you were doing. I'm still trying to forgive and forget.
Stream the New York Sack Exchange, now on ESPN+.
Love baseball? You'll love this.
The Durham Bulls are hiring for the 2025 baseball season for all kinds of part-time positions that let you be a part of the fun and excitement at DBAP. Come out to the 2025 Durham Bulls Job Fair this Saturday, February 1st at the PNC Triangle Club inside Durham Bulls Athletic Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bring your enthusiasm and be ready for on-the-spot interviews. Step up to the plate and come out this Saturday. Your new job is waiting at the Durham Bulls. See you at the ballpark.
Bailey pump fakes once, now tucks, swerves to the near side, still can throw, lobs it, end zone, touchdown, Joe Lee! It's a 9-yarder as Bailey drifts to the right and throws a dart to Justin Joe Lee.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Somebody on the field for that highlight will be in the Dean's List. Before we get to the Dean's List, though, 99.9 The Fan and Buffalo Brothers want you to be our big game VIP. Starting Monday, listen mornings from 9 to 10 during Next Up with Paul Ihander. That's right here on 99.9. And listen during this show, afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Drive, for your chance to qualify for our football grand prize. Our big game VIP scores a reserve table 4-6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail on Sunday, February 9th, and a $300 gift card. Remember, big game VIP qualifying starts this Monday. Let's put class in session. The Dean's List, highlighting the good, the people that deserve some praise, some good words across the college sports world, starting with the lawyers that wrote the ACC Media Grant of Rights at every step, every single step of the college football / college sports conference realignment saga, the epic tale. The ACC Media Grant of Rights just remains standing. It's like the one flag that's still flying at the end of a war or something. It's just tattered and bruised, and people tried to beat it the heck up, but the ACC Grant of Rights is just ironclad. ESPN has agreed to pick up the option to continue broadcasting ACC sports through 2036, sources told ESPN earlier today. They had a window if they didn't pick it up by February 1st to get out of the ACC's agreement in 2027. That has been bypassed, and it'll now go all the way towards 2036. We'll have more in-depth conversations about it later, but to me, this means the ACC is going nowhere. It's just how good is it as it remains around for the next 15 years, at least. That's what's still up for grabs, but it's stable.
Yeah, and if you're Disney in this case, which owns ESPN, ABC, and all that, you don't have to worry about these schools. If this is ironclad as we all think it is, the way it has held up, then they don't have to pay more for these schools to jump to the SEC or other properties that they already own. Like, no, I'm already paying for them to be on my networks. I'm not going to pay you more for the same thing.
And
smart by them.
The other side is this doesn't mean teams can't leave. It just means they have to follow what the Grant of Rights says if they want to leave, which we don't know the exact number. I think it's like $500 million. I think if they wanted to give $500 million to the ACC, talk about Florida State mostly, they could do that and leave. This doesn't handcuff you to the conference barring everything. It just means, you have to obey what the Grant of Rights says if you want to leave before 2036, and that number will go down year over year until 2036. So the lawyers, way to go. You don't get to say that often. Like, lawyers, awesome job, way to go. I feel like stereotypically you're always like, lawyers. Gary Merrill makes the Dean's List. He is who? Gary Merrill.
Okay.
Quarterback for St. Anthony's High School in South Huntington, New York. It was revealed that he has committed to UNC football and Coach Bill Belichick, but that's not why he's on the list, right? He's on the list because he's a two-sport athlete and a 5-star recruit on the lacrosse field and had already been committed to go to North Carolina to play lacrosse.
Number 2 overall recruit in the country.
And now he just casually picks up like a off-season hobby, which is playing for a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach in Bill Belichick. What a move. Now, he is a quarterback, which would make him the 3rd quarterback in the class with Bryce Baker, Arturi Newkirk, and now Gary Merrill. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not playing quarterback at all. off of just this alone. I did not watch tape. I did not go into all of the recruiting. But when he was the super stud for St. Anthony's and on the football field, threw for 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns. Solid for high school. But he ran for 1,955 yards and 32 scores on the ground. He was New York's Gatorade Player of the Year at quarterback. So I just like multi-sport athletes. I don't think you should specialize if you're that elite at both. Way to go. And then lastly, my last Dean's List member, Anthony Belton, NC State. He popped today at the Senior Bowl. Big boy. We knew that. Very large human. But I'll let Jordan Reed, who was on Panthers Playbook podcast recently, one of ESPN's NFL draft analysts, I'll let his words do the talking here. It was a challenge for pass rushers. I'm going to try this again. It was a challenge for pass rushers to get around Belton. While he mostly played left tackle, 6'5", 345-pound Belton also slid inside for multiple reps. Strength stood out the most. Complimentary anchor. Basically, without finishing the paragraph, he showed well for himself at the Senior Bowl, a.k.a. made himself a bunch of money at the Senior Bowl. Trying to solidify day 2 pick is basically what Anthony Belton is doing, and it looks like he did that. Anyone you want to add to the Dean's List here today, Dennis?
I don't have anyone to add, no.
It was a relatively quiet day in the college sports world yesterday, but that's just shaping up for a very, very loud weekend, including UNC, NC State. Sorry, UNC Duke. I'm getting all my teams confused. UNC Duke on Saturday in Cameron. And to help us preview that game, we have somebody who knows that rivalry intimately. Jay Williams, one of the best players in Duke and in college basketball in general history. Current ESPN analyst, will be in town for College Game Day this weekend. We joined him on the phone earlier today to chop it up and preview that game, and this is what it sounded like. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, it is Jay Williams. You know him as one of the best players in Duke and college basketball history, although probably could have played running back. Current ESPN analyst, getting ready for Duke UNC this weekend, joining us here. Jay, appreciate you for taking the time. I want to start with some of the
Tim, can I tell you this?
Go ahead.
I probably could have played running back, but I don't like being hit. That's why when you hit me, you have 4 more times to hit me, and you will foul out. That's why I play basketball.
All right, and I respect that. Right, got to know your strengths.
Exactly.
I want to start with some of the clips that I'm sure you've seen. The internet has been having some fun with. You were on the call for UNC's loss to Pitt on Tuesday. And late in that game, 4-point game, some of your comments about UNC's body language, maybe not huddling up, looking like maybe accepting the loss, have gotten a lot of attention. How surprising was it for you to see UNC's body language in that moment?
Well, first off, just to retort to your comment about things online, people have been trying to roast me online since I've been 16, 17 years old, Tim. I could care less about what people say about me online. I just, talk basketball and tell people what I see. I think I like North Carolina a lot. I think, first off, I don't think Hubert is in any trouble. I think he'll be fine moving forward. But it was shocking to me. I mean, first off, that was also that day I called the Pittsburgh game was on the 24th year anniversary of the Miracle Minute. So if there's any mantra or ounce of my body that saw any team quit, I'm like, you don't quit, and watching North Carolina only down 4 points with 29 seconds left to go in the game, not run back, not huddle, while Pittsburgh ran back to their free throw line, while they huddled, the lack of communication was concerning to me, right? Hubert can only do so much as a head coach. But when there's not anybody on the court that tells everybody, hey, sprint down here, we're only down 4. Hit the shot, we're only going to be down 2. We're going to go on this type of defense, we're going to try to get a foul, we're going to try to get a rake. There was nobody communicating what sequences of possessions were going to be for North Carolina. And that was problematic to me, Tim. And even though that Pittsburgh made 2 free throws, you're only down 6 with 30 seconds left to go. Why is everybody not huddling or not acting as if you could win this game? I just watched Houston and Kansas play where Kansas gave away the game. I just watched Notre Dame play where they're up 4 points and the possession of the ball where they lost the game. I just watched Arizona versus Iowa State where they were down 3 and it took Caleb Love a heave from beyond that full court to send the game into overtime before they won the game. Anything is possible, but it seemed like they were fragmented. It seemed like they were thinking all individually instead of being together in that moment of adversity. And to me, like that, it felt as if they had already lost the game. And by the way, their body language showed you that in the next possession. They took, like, R.J. Davis took a ill-advised shot. It was a heave, and the game was just over. And
So let me retort on something you said there, right? I hear fragmented in a crucial part of an ACC game, but yet you early in your answer you say you think Hubert is safe and there's nothing going on there. How does the coach not take some of that heat when you have a team, a veteran squad, right? You brought up R.J. Davis; he's been around for a long time. That isn't cohesive in playing all the way to the whistle in one of those ACC close games.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. I'm not saying that there's no heat. I mean, I didn't say that there's any heat or any pressure on Hubert Davis. I think another reality of the situation is that North Carolina, watching operationalize their football program with Bill Belichick, they need to take a page out of that book and do the same to the basketball program. You have the greatest basketball player of all time that came from that school. There should be a general manager. They should never miss an NIL market, ever. It's North Carolina. I'm saying this growing up as a pseudo North Carolina basketball fan, right? Like, so it's not enough just to have Duke on the front of your chest or North Carolina on the front of your chest or UCLA on the front of your chest. Some people will like that, right? But a lot of people now are, how much am I getting paid? That's the reason why they missed on a lot of bigs in the portal. Right, like that's what North Carolina's been known for, having great bigs. Armando Bacot, you know what they were able to get, with some Harrison Ingram, like those players that can beat you up, get you offensive rebounds, second chance points. They didn't get a chance to do that. So I'm not sure they expected R.J. Davis to still be there, and it feels like getting Caleb Wilson is a great step for next year. But like North Carolina basketball should never miss in the portal. They are North Carolina basketball.
I agree with that. Jay Williams joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, national champion, national player of the year, second overall pick in the NBA draft, and will be a part of the festivities coming to town for UNC at Duke this weekend. We'll talk about that in a second. Jay, to go to the other side, the Blue Devils, right? These two teams going into the rivalry. Luckily, you throw out records in a rivalry because these are two programs, at least this year, that seem to be going in opposite directions, so we still expect a classic. But for John Shire, right, to use the other coach, what has he learned over the last 3 years? How is he a better coach since he took over the program now? Because it's you notice the differences, right? He looks more confident.
Tim, I'd probably say, when you first did your first radio show, I'm sure you're in a drastically different place than right now.
We burn those tapes, Jay. We burn those tapes.
I'm sure John wishes he can burn those games, Tim. Unfortunately, we all have the reality that we live in the public eye and we have to grow within the public eye. And I think the sense of security about how to go about the off season, about the continuity of how the off season should run. I think you've seen adjustments on his staff with Jay Lucas now becoming, the co-head coach alongside of him. I think how you've gone about recruiting in that regard, how you've gone about style of play, due to your personnel. The thing that's probably been the most impressive attribute about John and knowing John for as long as I have is that there has been no precipitous drop-off from the Mount Everest altitude that Coach K had this program. Like, think about that. Like, think about all the other greatest coaches potentially of all time, what those programs have gone through respectively. And John has gotten to a Final Four. He's won an ACC. He's done a lot of incredible things that you're like, wow, it doesn't feel like the program has dropped off one slight bit. Even to next year, he has 3 McDonald's All-Americans. And marrying young with old, he's been able to do that this year. That helps guys like Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg learn on the job, right, with real job experience from having Mason Gillis and company and other players that have been around the block, that have been to national championship games, that are seasoned and that understand, what expectations are and how to live through that. I just think he's been he's been adopted through fire. And And I give him a lot of credit for continuing to fight the fight.
Well, let's not ignore your role in that recruiting class, right? The Boozer twins, when they get to look at the opportunities and the fun their dad had playing alongside you, same recruiting class there. I think it makes sense that they end up committed to Duke. But to drive in a little bit further on how Shire's developed as a coach, you bring up the Miracle Minute. So you are as qualified as anyone on the planet to talk about end of game situations where you need to get the win. If there is a flaw or something that Duke would be worried about going into the big games, it's their one possession end of game against top teams, Kentucky, Kansas, and they weren't the smoothest, right? Turnovers from the young guys. How do you as a basketball mind, what advice would you give to the Knipples and the Flags who are young as heck and are going to have the ball in their hands in big moments with one possession? And to be quite frank, they won't have a lot of that experience in the ACC. They'll win most games by double digits.
Yeah, I mean, I had messed up by saying adopted by fire, even though baptized by fire. But I that is my largest concern about Duke basketball. Is obviously you love those reps, you love those experiences, but we've talked about this before. The lack of a dynamic ball handler is something that could hinder them from winning a national championship game. Somebody else that can create outside of Cooper Flag and Knippel. Caleb Foster is more of a drive and attack. Tyrese Proctor is more of a floor spacer, a shooter, even though they can do that. I'm not saying that those guys aren't limited to the point that they can't make or create value in a possession, because they can. But in those one possession games, everybody's going to be looking at the ball being in Cooper Flag's hands. And the one thing I can say is that when I played, I was a little bit more dynamic with the ball, so I felt like I could, but I also play with other people that can get their shot off. I had Chris Duhon and other guys that are able to drive and make a play. And I think, their advantage is that big on big screening, but as they run it more, especially down the stretch, they're going to have to put ripples in that offense, which I'm sure John and staff are doing, to give them more optionality down the stretch. But the reality, Tim, is that the ball will be in the hands of the best player on the team, and that is Cooper Flag. And I think you saw him rushed and the lack of seasoning in the earlier stage of the year. But I do think that John is also learning where he needs to get the ball operationally in the hands of Cooper is different now than what it was earlier. Like, it doesn't make sense to give Cooper the ball and let him push the ball down the entire length of the floor, right? It makes more sense to, how do you let one of your guards do that and get a little pin down where you can get Cooper at the free throw line extended, right? In an operational zone where you can turn face, make a play, see the double team coming, but it's more out of movement or action instead of Cooper initiating the action, which I think you saw at the beginning of the year. So, look, if there's time in a possession to get them in a high PNR between him and Knippel, fine, but I think you'll see a lot more movement before you actually see the action, and where the action comes from an angles perspective and operating zone will be different than what you saw earlier in the season.
Jay Williams joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Jay, speaking of, performing under pressure, fans normally critique the players when they can't do it, but they don't know what it feels like until they get an opportunity that you're presenting a fan on game day this weekend. Now I know you have cash. We've followed your success, right? You're becoming the media mogul. You got that first round pick money from back in the day. You're on TV all the time, but $100K. That's a lot of money for anybody, and you're prepared to give $100K to a fan that has chosen to take a half-court shot this weekend? Are you ready for that? I don't know if you'll feel the pressure when they're taking the shot.
I don't know, Tim. I don't know if you've been out to nightclubs or if you've been, to any boxing matches, but typically, when you order bottles or when a boxer comes into the ring, there's a lot of music and there's a lot of, those little flashing things up top, the sparklers. I will be walking into Cameron Indoor Stadium with sparklers and a lot of music and $100,000 check above me. It's something that I'm passionate about. It started in a random bet with Chris Long on a half-court shot at UVA where he missed it. By the way, I'm still waiting for Chris Long to pay me back. And I just want to give a college student, with everything going on in the world, with student loans and debt, with everything happening in our country, with young people getting opportunities, I'm invested in a lot of different businesses. We're very blessed that we're doing okay. I'm going to do a randomized selection of giving out coupons before, raffle tickets before game day starts. This is not going to be on live TV. This is going to be an hour before game day at 9 a.m. I'm going to choose 8 lucky contestants. They're going to play one round of rock, paper, scissors. I'll get the 4. We'll play one round of rock, paper, scissors. We'll get the 2. We'll find the winner. And then I'll give that winner a chance to shoot for $100,000. And then the best part is if they miss it, I will then give them another opportunity where they have a chance to either take some cash, have another shot to win some cash, or if they miss, they're going to have to pay me back in another way, not in cash. But in a way that might be a little bit embarrassing, but it will be fun for all of us to watch. So I'm bringing it. I hope the fans are ready to bring it when they show up.
I was going to ask about the decision because I saw you tease it. I am wildly intrigued by it, so I guess we'll have to wait till Saturday to know what that means. And also, I just want to give you a hat tip. That Chris Long, when you grabbed the ball and drilled it, that's like an all-time mic drop moment. So, not saying I'm surprised by it because you are you, but it still plays every time. I watch it through every time it pops up on my social media feed. Jay, appreciate it. Obviously, it's a big week in the rivalry, so enjoy it, and we're always happy to have you back here in the Triangle. So, like I said, enjoy it, take it in, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
And I look forward to it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Once again, that is Jay Williams, ESPN analyst, and so much more. Many of you remember him from his time back at Duke, and he's given away, potentially, someone hits the shot, $100K.
I don't know what it is about a half-court shot, but when someone makes it, it just gets you amped up.
Oh, even if it's like a high school basketball practice and you saw like 37 people miss consecutively, when somebody finally hits one, it's like, oh, just to get you excited. And then if there were $100K on the line, take that and multiply it times about 100,000. That's how much more exciting it is.
I was at the Carolina game when they played when they played Stanford, and they're doing between one of the media timeouts contest, 30 seconds. Make a free throw, make a three-pointer, make a half-court shot. Basically, it was like $50 to $500 to $500,000 in like a gift store credit to a business. And he makes the free throw. He makes the three-pointer. The 30 seconds is running out as he's like dribbling just to go back to the half-court line. Like, oh, the time's up. Buzzer goes off. He's like, you know what? I'm shooting this thing anyway. Drains it. And everyone's like, oh, no, count it. Even though it was like 7-8 seconds afterwards. But I was like, obviously it didn't count. But they gave him a little extra because all right, he did take the shot and he made it, even though it was after the buzzer. Anyway, it was so it got everyone going. It was a lot of fun.
And just so you know, there's something at risk here as well. Because first, I don't know what that decision is. The way that Jay described it is all I know, right? If you miss, there's some other deal or no deal situation going on where you can take something, take another shot, or whatever behind box number 3. I don't know. But I had a buddy, one of my good friends, who's my freshman year roommate in college. We're at a Delaware basketball game watching, and he wasn't on any sports team, so he was eligible for this. They pulled him out of the stands to shoot a half-court shot at halftime for, I think, a car. And we know him as a pretty good athlete. We're like, dude, he might win a car. When I tell you this thing was not within 25 yards of the rim, he absolutely was airmailed long and left. And that was probably our sophomore year. Senior year, still every time a basketball was we just see a basketball in a park 2 blocks away. We were roasting him for that half-court shot. So, do all you can to make it for the money, but also keep it close or else you're going to be long shot. That's your nickname for the rest of the time your friends who watch. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You can win as well. We got opportunities to win all over the place. Text keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 919-860-5326. That's FEST to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Totally Tubular Festival, featuring Right Said Fred, Men Without Hats, Haircut 100, The Tubes, The Motels, and more at Red Hat Amphitheater on July 11th. The keyword to text is FEST, F-E-S-T. The number to text it to is 919-860-5326. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, where they have the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in the state, which means, as so many people do with the high-end watches and the timepieces, right, you have your grail, the watch you want. They can help you find it. Right, you can get put on a wait list for one of the more rare Rolexes, and when they find one, when they acquire one, you'll be the first to know. But at the same time, and I've seen this happen, right, you have your grail, the watch you dreamed of. You get it, you wear it, right? You're at a couple fine events, statement piece, and then this other one catches your eye. Okay, now that's my new grail. Well, you can go ahead and take the one you had, sell it, right? They can buy, they can sell, they can help you find it. They are a pre-owned and vintage Rolex mecca, the place you can go for all of your Rolex interests. As your trusted dealer and buyer of pre-owned Rolex watches, they offer top-quality pieces with confidence and integrity. So go ahead and stop by. It's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside their Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location in Raleigh. So Village District location in Raleigh. And when you're there, let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim, on The Drive. We have football at 4 coming up next, including a real difficult hypothetical. If you were an NFL MVP, would you trade your MVP for a Super Bowl championship? The answer might surprise you from one Carolina Panthers legend. Stick around.
Listen for the Did He Just Do That?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The Get That Out of Here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time, and the month of January marks the 45th anniversary of bold flavors, Southern hospitality, and all of the timeless classics you get at Triangle Area Bojangles. In 1980, Triarch Food Systems, Inc. opened their first Bojangles in Selma, North Carolina, a welcoming place to come together and enjoy some made-from-scratch goodness. Here's to 45 years, and many more to come. Thank you, Selma. It's always bow time.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to RichieLaw.com.
That's RichieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing clouds this afternoon, but still nice and mild. High of 64, slightly breezy, but not as windy as yesterday. Cloudy and mild tonight with a low of 47 and a very warm day tomorrow. We'll see a high of 75 degrees, but we also have the chance of some showers, a few light showers in the morning, and then some possible thunderstorms during the late afternoon into the evening.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 168 points to 44,882.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Buckle up, everybody. I think one of the more beloved Panthers, but also one of the more polarizing athletes of the last, 20 years, said something that is going to elicit some questions. So Cam Newton, 2015 NFL MVP, holder of a whole bunch of records, both Carolina Panthers and NFL, was asked on ESPN if he would trade his NFL MVP for a Super Bowl. His response was no. And that right there is going to elicit a whole bunch of that's what's wrong with everything. Yeah, winning comes first, individual. Let's give Cam the opportunity to explain himself, as he did. We have a clip here of Cam Newton on why he would not give back his MVP in exchange for a Super Bowl.
Question, and, just to pose this thought, what's more important, impact or championships? You look at a guy like Allen Iverson, you stood up on the table and blah, 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 blah. Everybody's not going to be Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's not going to be these individuals who have the luxury of saying, hey, I not only dominated this sport, but I also have championships to back it. Like, let me remind you, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Respectfully, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So, yes, when you look at those guys and you say, okay, what's more important? Would you have preferred to win a Super Bowl? I think that's the humble approach, but if we're being honest, the impact of you holding yourself accountable to say everybody has a responsibility to do. And you can say as an MVP award winner or All-American, you've held yourself or you've held your end of the bargain down. And that's what it really comes down to for me. I know that's not the popular pick. I'm trying to be popularized. But my take is I'm taking individual success because I did my job. Football is not about one guy trying to do 11 jobs. It's 11 guys doing one job. And if everybody does their job best, famous words of our coach Belichick, just do your job. Just do it.
I think it's a good hypothetical. I think it's a good question. I think more people, if they were being 100% honest, would choose MVP over Super Bowl. But I think people will understand that that's not the healthy thing to say or the publicly desired thing to say. So they would say they want a Super Bowl over an MVP. I think, and Cam did and did not do a great job of explaining it there. I think the answer is I need way more context. Right? If you're saying, would you rather be an MVP level superstar like Cam Newton or Nick Foles? That's no offense to Nick Foles. Career backup, bounces around, doesn't get many starting opportunities. That's one thing. But if you're saying Cam Newton or another one-time Super Bowl winner, no-time MVP winner like Drew Brees, that's a whole different beast, right? Or Matt Stafford, that's a whole different beast. So would you rather have a Super Bowl or an MVP is like, well, which Super Bowl winner am I choosing to be, and which MVP winner am I choosing to be? It's not cut and dry unless you say, listen, Cam, nothing about your career changes. You have the exact same stats, the exact same longevity, the exact same records. However, you're just not chosen to be the MVP in 2015, and instead you score one more point than the Broncos in that Super Bowl. I do think you go Super Bowl then. Because then the legacy, everything he said about Allen Iverson and the impact is still there, right? You still changed the way people play football by being a running quarterback and having the success that you had and clearing the way for guys in the future to do things. I don't want it to become people just absolutely roasting Cam because he's putting self over team. I get why you would, but I don't think that's how he was answering the question. If it were everything's the same and you choose MVP over Super Bowl, then I do think you can get on somebody for like you're missing the point here. And I also think you can build more and more and more hypotheticals off of this if you're looking like me and my friends always are, to just get in sports debates that you can yell and scream about and then go, all right, cool, let's go grab some food. Things like, all right, cool. I'm assuming most of you out there, if I said, do you want an MVP or a Super Bowl, you're picking Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
I will say there should be some context on like you're the starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team. I don't think anyone's picking like, I've got a teammate, Gino Gradkowski, was a special teamer for the Ravens, won a Super Bowl. I don't think you're choosing Gino's career over Cam Newton's. But if we say all else the same, Super Bowl MVP, most of you are picking Super Bowl. And I get that, and I would too. My question becomes, how many MVPs would it take to get you to pass on the Super Bowl? More than anyone in NFL history? Was that five? Five, I think, is Peyton?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Would you take
5, yeah.
6 MVPs in exchange for no Super Bowls?
I don't know. I think the MVP has become such a quarterback award. Ooh. It's really what it has become.
What if I tell you you could win 6 as a wide receiver?
Jerry Rice couldn't even do that.
I know.
He's the best to ever do it.
Imagine how good you'd have been.
But here's the thing. You can still hold up your end of the bargain and be the best, i.e. a Jerry Rice or whomever, and still win Super Bowls and be known for that. I think that's the thing, is that his words, hey, individual success, I held up my end of the bargain. It's like, yeah, well, so did I, but what do I have to show for it? I want a ring. There are 52 other guys on that team being like, yeah, cool, you got the MVP, great, happy for you. I want my hardware. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's like, hey, guess what? You have yours, but we all could have had a piece of hardware, and that's a ring on our finger.
It's that, and that comes back to the context thing. I think I would rather be an MVP than a carried to a championship like end of the bench player. But at the same time, if I could somehow contribute to a Super Bowl championship, that would be the most professionally fulfilling thing you could possibly have. So there's context there. I think what you have to do is program the question differently and said everything else is exactly the same. That's important.
Yeah, if everything else is exactly the same, then guess what? Cam Newton's impact is still his impact.
Exactly. And finishing second and getting snubbed is not like, oh man, now my impact is not there. It's if everything's the same, you take the Super Bowl. You have to.
And of course, a lot of people are pointing out like, oh, you did your part. Well, why didn't you jump on that fumble? Everyone's gonna point that out. Hey, it's right there. You didn't sacrifice your body to go for it. A lot of people point that out. And you know what? It's understandable.
But I'll also get and again, not to excuse Cam, but I do think a lot of people at the end of their career, you talk yourself into like no regrets, right? Like if he says Super Bowl over MVP there, that is a unfulfilled part of his career, right? Then he's looking back with regrets. He can't go back and change anything. So it's like, you know, what is true happiness? One of the like fortune cookie wisdoms. Mm-hmm. What is true happiness? Wanting what you have, right? Instead of wanting things you don't have, want what you have and you can be happy. If he's like, no, the coolest thing in the history of sports is being an NFL MVP and a Heisman Trophy winner, then he's like, look at that. My life is awesome. Like there is probably some individualness going on there. Like Peyton Manning isn't going to say the way you judge quarterbacks is by 40 time, because he's going to look around and be like, then I'm like 700th out of the quarterbacks.
Tom Brady's the worst quarterback ever.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're Cam, you probably are saying like you have to take running into account to it's you gotta see who's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And where we're sitting is a completely different vantage point than where he's sitting. And he also got a national championship, so at least he's got a trophy of some kind.
Yeah, a Heisman and a national championship. Awesome. Like that's phenomenal. And guess what? Everyone else on his team. And then here's the thing about football. We always hear about the ultimate team sport, but then you hear him say, "Hey, I did my part."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's tough for a lot of people to swallow. And we're always taught football, the ultimate team sport. All 11 guys got to work together. Hey, I did my part. Okay, well, did we win?
That's you doing your part. You need to pick your stuff. I mean, it does. The only reason I'm saying I don't want to come in bashing is I don't think he took the question the way many people are taking it. He's taking it as I would rather live and die on how good I played and if I can do my job, and I want to be the one with the game on my shoulders, and I would rather have that and lose than go ahead and be play alongside Patrick Mahomes and look at that, I'm a Super Bowl champion, but it wasn't because of me. It was because I happened to get drafted to the team of the good guy. Like I think that's how he was taking it. Or that's another way to think about it, I guess would be the way to say it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As always, you can comment with your answers onto our YouTube comments. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, live stream there every day. And we do peruse for your comments and sometimes bring the best ones up on air. Dennis, you have something for the people right here?
I do. I have something for the people, and actually I have something that people can win. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Look, I said there's something that you can win. If you just go to caniacsbike.com, caniacsbike.com, you have your chance to enter and win a custom Caniacs motorcycle. The Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint are all teaming up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Again, simple to enter. Just go to caniacsbike.com. You'll see the bike right there, built by Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson right here in Raleigh. Custom painted by Shiny Side Paint. They did an absolutely fantastic job with this bike. I can't win it, but you can. And if you win this bike, hit me up. We'll go out and ride. With this kind of weather, I'm anxious to get back on the motorcycle, and so should you. Go win one. Or at least enter for your chance to win. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Dennis, what would you rather have, the custom bike or an MVP?
MVP of what?
Whatever league you want. Say the custom bike. I gave you an awesome.
I know the custom bike. I was
go.
like, what bike? I'm like, my beer league hockey, like intermediate C hockey.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hey, that trophy banners hang forever. The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bike.
The drive
that
with
bike rides. Let's go.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our ladder challenge to get to. Shout out to Virginia for making me some money last night, and much more. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Starts to come. Tick, tack, tied. In Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made rebound. Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. Even if she accidentally knocks out a side accent diamond, Diamonds Direct will replace it free. Now, other stores claim to offer warranties, but the catch is that they won't honor it unless you bring your ring in for regular inspections. But at Diamonds Direct, inspections are never required. There's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Plain and simple, at Diamonds Direct, we stand behind what we sell, and we're committed to service it at no charge for life, period. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, Your love, our passion. You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Taylor Hall, he'll drop it back. Svechnikov shoots and scores! A quick setup, and what a shot! That's the magic, Andrei Svechnikov. It's 1-0 Carolina, 56 seconds into this one.
Hey, feeling good.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If that happens tonight, if it's that quick, Svetch from Taylor Hall to open the scoring tonight against the Blackhawks in the Lenovo Center, buckle up, everybody. Buckle up, because that place will go bonkers.
We've actually had Svetch as a first goal scorer in the first period as a prediction by Matt in our YouTube live chat.
All right, if you're as cool as Matt is, go ahead and start thinking of your first goal scorer predictions at 4:33. So in 13 minutes, we will open up the phone lines for first goal scorer predictions. We'll take 3 official contestants on the call-in line. If you call in with a name who will score the first goal for the Canes and a period that they will score it in, and if you get both right, you get a sweet Apex Racing Lab prize. And if you are not interested, you're just in it for the love of the game, you just want to show everybody that you're right, you can always comment on our YouTube like Matt did, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube live stream, and you can just say a name, who do you think is going to score the first goal, and in what period, and we'll give you a shout-out if you get it right. Probably we'll read a bunch of the guesses on air as well. I know what mine is. I already have it written down. I don't care if one of you says it. I will double up because I'm excited about this one.
Okay.
Just letting everybody know. I'm not copying. It's already written down. I'm not copying my ladder challenge pick either, so let's go ahead and jump into a little ladder challenge. Last night, we are nearing the end of the month, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crunch time. Last night, I had Virginia plus 10.5 over Miami. UVA won the game outright by 11. So cleared my my bet by 20-some. 82-71 was the win. Miami, this is not a joke. They might be legendarily bad in the ACC. This might be the worst ACC, like top to bottom, of my lifetime. And Miami is defeated. They are the opposite of undefeated. They have not won a single game in conference. And Virginia is one of the other worst teams in the league and just beat them handily. They were ahead the entire game, kind of kept them at arm's distance. So if you're just looking for a team to pick against and you're a little bit of gambling, Miami might be the squad. If you're in a survivor pool, you got to pick a team to win like they do in football season. Just pick whoever's playing Miami. That brought me up to, it was a minus 500 bet. That brought me up to 1406. We both had to start over, Dennis, so it's we're back near the beginning. How did last night go for you?
It didn't. So I had the LA Kings and the Florida Panthers last night. All I had to do is over 3.5 goals. That's it, over 3.5. Florida Panthers went full Cam Newton. They did their part. They scored 3. LA Kings went blank, nada, zip.
It is
nothing, nil, 3-0.
When it rains, it pours in the ladder challenge. For the first 3 weeks of the month,
I was cooking.
Dennis, well, you had no mistakes. I had 1. Since then, we've each had 4. So something's off in the cosmos. We need to get back on the right track. Also, I should have changed. Now I don't want to be so aggressive. I should have gone to find a minus 1,000 bet. But either way, I'm leading, so I'll go ahead and lead off for tonight. You're back at $10, by the way. Just
I know.
Letting you know. And I'm actually going your direction. There's not a ton of action tonight. No ACC basketball to bet on. There's obviously no football. So I'm kind of in a vacuum here of endlessness. I'm going Carolina Hurricanes over 2.5 goals scored tonight versus Chicago. So 3 or more goals scored by the Canes. It is a minus 505 bet. Chicago gives up the 3rd most goals in the league.
Yeah, they stink.
I wouldn't be surprised if the energy is crazy, as I've been talking about, in the building. So the Canes, I could see them giving up a goal or 2 that they shouldn't give up, right? A little too amped up, trying to make too aggressive of a pass, intercepted, going the other way, whatever it is. But that also means they'll be attacking offensively. They'll be amped up to take shots. They'll may have to overcome a early super surprising 1-0 deficit, something crazy like that. So give me the Canes to score at least 3 tonight versus Chicago in the home debut of Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, which will take my 1406 up to $16.84. Like I said, it's a minus 505 bet.
Okay, well, I am going to go with the Washington Capitals taking on the Ottawa Senators, our nation's capital, going up to Canada's capital, up in Ottawa. Give me the Caps, plus 2.5 goals. That's a minus 675. So that $10 will turn into $11.40.
There's only. I mean, if I just got to get. I wish I would have known you messed up. I would have gone with a much more likely bet. Either way. Canes, give me 3.
Canes should score
give me 3.
3.
Give me 3.
They should have 3 in the first 9 minutes.
Should? Is this a reverse jinx happening right now? Are you Randy Johnsoning me right now?
I don't know.
We got a real Ray Jennings over here. RJ reverse jinx. That's ladder challenge. We'll keep you posted and see if we get them right. Check back in tomorrow. Right now, speaking of the Canes, let's jump to some Hurricanes and Cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else. That starts with a W. Confidence.
What are you most confident in, and what are you most concerned about when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes? The new look Carolina Hurricanes ahead of their game tonight against the Blackhawks and into the rest of the season. This is like a state of the Canes question, not tonight. It's not like, I don't know how they handle Bedard. It's not that. It's bigger picture. How they handle Tebow. It's not that. As always, I have good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You take the bad news. So we start with the concerns. My concern for the Canes right now, it's depth. Right? We saw last game, and this is no disrespect intentionally towards Riley Stillman, but there's a ricochet shot. They had to go 11-7 with Riley Stillman in the game. 11 forward, 7 defensemen, with Riley Stillman being the 7th defenseman. Because Roslovic got sick. Right, Jack Roslovic was just under the weather, right? The flu's going around, so I guess he caught a bug. That's not what you want to be doing if a non-star winger gets a sickness, right? That happens. Like, life happens. There could be, and it wasn't, right? It was a game away at the Rangers. Rangers are, 4th or 5th in the Metropolitan. So it wasn't like, a playoff game. But it could happen in a playoff game. You could have someone wake up throwing up and they just can't go. You could have someone step off the curb funny and roll an ankle. Like, life happens. You could have it in a game, right? Somebody tweaks a wrist and needs a week off. You don't want to be going to Riley Stillman as a 7th defenseman going into a game in a must-win. And I know there's other options, and other guys hopefully will be getting healthy over the Tyson Josts and everything of the world will be getting healthy in the not-too-distant future. But I still think that they'll make a move for like one or two more depth pieces just so if life happens, they don't go to guys who they're not wanting to depend on in really, really big moments. So depth would be my concern. Dennis, what's yours?
Mine is actually specifically center depth.
Okay.
That is specifically mine because when you take away Jack Drury out of your bottom six, a guy who is dependable face-offs not only in your defensive zone and 5-on-5, but also because we saw him actually late in games. He'll put Jordan Stahl out there, or if it's Stahl's not out there, it's Aho and Jack Drury. But also he's one of your top penalty killers as well. So you lose that when you take away Jack Drury. Right now you have Juha Jaska as your number 4 center, quote-unquote. Tyson Jost is still hurt right now. Roslovic can slide in and play center, something he's done before. But depth down the middle of the ice right now is a major question mark. Now, Mikko Rantanen has been known to take faceoffs and be pretty good at it. Can he play center in this system? That's something to be determined. I think, honestly, Rob Brind'Amour would prefer to have him on the wing. It's a lot easier to adapt, especially this system that Rod runs. So, to me, it's depth down the middle of the ice. I think there is still a chance they make a move by the deadline. And I think having Hall and Rantanen, this trade done now, gives them the opportunity to figure out, all right, what are we going to do with that number 4 center spot?
I want to build off of real quickly here something you said about Rantanen having the ability to perhaps play center. I'm seeing that mentioned a lot. I hate to do it this way. He gets to make a really, really, really important decision for himself and the franchise, either this offseason or before that. If he doesn't want to play center, I'm not asking him to play center. If he wants to be on a wing, if he wants, you need to make his experience enjoyable. There were points in time where, we heard maybe Martin Necas's dad or the rumors were he wanted to play center. He wanted to have center minutes. He wanted to get the center opportunity. And in those moments, I was going actually, Rod's the coach, so he's going to tell you where to play, and you go out there and do what's best for the team. That can't be the case. It's not do whatever they say, because you do kind of have to acquiesce to Mikko for a little bit, Rantanen, because if he doesn't like the way you use him, he'll go sign a deal with, name your team, Vancouver, and then you're left in a lurch, and you traded all of that for a rental rather than somebody that can be a building block. So I agree they need help in the depth side of center. I just don't see Rantanen being the guy to fill it, unless it's hey, occasionally he takes a face-off. I'm sure he's not the most Scrooge guy on the planet where he's bah, humbug, I don't want to do it and I'm never going to. Just don't make it his role if that's not what he wants his role to be.
I mean, he might be okay with it, because here's the thing.
If that's the case, go nuts.
Center icemen generally get paid more.
Yeah, if that's the case.
That's the thing.
I think that had something to do with why Necas wanted to do it?
I don't know.
Just talking, just spitballing over here. Let's get to the fun part. Confidence. What are we more confident about for the Carolina Hurricanes? I'm going back to one we've gone through, I think it was last week. The goalie rotation. The Canes have won 5 of their last 6, and they've looked good doing it, and that starts before the trade, right? It's not like they traded for Mikko Rantanen and then went on a 5 out of 6. The positive vibes had already started before the drive. It really started when Freddie Anderson got back from his injury. And since then, they've been playing well, and even the new guys have jumped in and played well since they've gotten there. But I look at it as Freddie was great against the Rangers. It was a shutout. Pyotr Kochetkov is going in net tonight. I expect to see a pretty good showing from Pyotr Kochetkov. Whatever it is about these two guys, I think they just vibe well with one game on, one game off. And if it fits their personality, if it fits their performance, keep it rolling. I'm confident in it.
My confidence actually kind of ties into what I was saying a moment ago. The Carolina Hurricanes have a lot more runway, a lot more build-up here to the trade deadline by having made the moves already to get Rantanen and Hall. You still have 5-6 weeks to figure out, okay, let's see how this works. Then you can still further add to it, as opposed to last year when they just got Jake Gensel at the trade deadline, and it was, all right, let's cram this thing in, like the overnight cram for the test, or let's hammer this paper out overnight. No, you actually got time to figure this thing out, and you give yourself time to actually gel as a team. Everyone figures out their role. Everyone understands the system. Everyone learns each other. You have more of that build up to the postseason with these guys. That's what I'm most confident in, is that you have basically kind of a similar move to what you did with Gensel last year. except 6 more weeks of it. Like, to get ready for the postseason. To me, that's what I'm most confident about, is that you have that longer time to build up, and you still have the chance to make a move or two if you need to.
And it's not just the new guys getting used to the Canes. It's also everybody else getting used to them, and, right, if the lines shuffle up or whatever it is, you might be playing with somebody new, right? Because I think Gensel, for the most part, played pretty solid in the postseason, but maybe it was, another line that shuffled up that didn't live up to expectations. So it's everybody getting used to it, not just the new guys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's about time for first goal scorer predictions, everybody.
Oh, we're approaching that time?
Oh, we're approaching that time. First goal scorer predictions, a very simple game we play every time there is a Canes game on a show day. We simply open up the phone lines, and we'll do that in about 30 seconds. The Heister Automotive Group hotline, and we ask you to make a prediction. It is a 2-part prediction. Who will score the first goal for the Canes, and in what period will they score it? If you get both of those right on the air here, we take 3 official contestants, you will win an ultimate sim racing experience from Apex Racing Lab. So let's go ahead and open up those phone lines. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. That's the number to call, 919-860-5326. Call in right now with a name, a player that you think will score the first goal for the Canes, and the period in which you think they will score it. If you get it right, the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. A gift card, gift certificate to rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Carriers-McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. Once again, that is apexracinglab.com. Also, Canes fans out there, we have so many opportunities for you to win stuff. Our YouTube channel where you watch all of the videos we post. If you missed something, or you could be listening right now on our YouTube for our live stream, that video streams every single show, waving to everybody out there. We are just shy of 15,000 subscribers. It is something that we've worked very hard at. We put out a ton of work into the content that goes onto our YouTube channel. Once we reach 15,000, one of those subscribers, and we'll give you all the details on how to win it. One of those subscribers will win a Seth Jarvis signed puck. That's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah, when we reach 15,000?
15,000. So, if you haven't already subscribed, go subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. And then once we reach 15,000, everybody pay attention, because Seth Jarvis signed pucks don't come around too often.
We're at 14,906.
Wow. So we need 94 more of you.
Let's go.
And then another 10,000 after that. The lines are full. We have Harry and Clayton up first for our first goal scorer predictions. Harry and Clayton, who scores the first goal for the Canes tonight, and in what period?
I think it is Seth Jarvis, and I think it is in the first.
Jarvis in the first. Do you want to give any more details just for bragging rights and fun? Is it a power play? Is it a rebound? Like, what? Give us some details.
I think he just drives it down the ice and plugs it in. I think it's just going to be him on his own.
Okay, I like that. Maybe unassisted. Sounds good. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure you get your prize if you get it right. Chad in Hillsborough, you are next up in first goal scorer predictions. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period?
I'm going to say it's going to be the Moose in the first.
All right, give us something. Give us a detail. Where, how, when, who's the assist? Give us it all.
I say he's going to be out there first time in the Canes home ice. Going to go out there and knock it in the first 5 minutes. Just driving it down.
I like it. Maybe first shift. All right. As well, you stay on the line. Dennis will have a question or two for you. Brian in Holly Springs, our final official contestant for today's game. Canes Blackhawks tonight, home, Lenovo Center. Who scores the first goal, and in what period?
All right. Give me number 20, first period, first 8 minutes.
All right. I will give you one opportunity. Aho is questionable, game time decision with an illness. Are you going to lock in? Are you going to? By the way, I expect him to play. Just my inference is my guess. As does Teuvo Teravainen, who is going to be lining up for Chicago. But I will give you one chance to change.
Svechnikov.
Okay. All right. Now, when Aho scores in the first and you don't win, don't blame me. Okay, that was all under your own power.
Yes, sir. You got it.
All right. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. If Svech hits it, I would feel really bad if Aho comes out like first shift, 100% healthy, all cardio, just whips it around and scores easily. I would feel bad there, but it is what it is, right? I gave him full self-will, right? They had all their own decisions to make. Harry went with Jarvis in the first. Chad went with Rantanen in the first. And Brian went with Svech in the first. So everybody's expecting a first period goal for the Canes. As always, if you didn't make it through on the phone lines to be an official contestant, you still have an opportunity to show off your hockey knowledge. Just go ahead and head over to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe while you're there. And check out our live stream. And in the comments, you can put a player and a period that you think the first goal will be scored. And if you get it right, be sure to brag. Be sure to let us know. Matter of fact, I do have a shout-out that I need to give somebody on Twitter. As I search through it here. And see, there's a lot of stuff going on. That first goal, Will on Twitter. Will at the at handle is ParksWill403. Got it right and was gloating a bit as you should.
Yes.
During the last Canes game. So if you do that, we'll give you your shout out. Way to go, Will. You know hockey. Go ahead.
We've had a lot of submissions already. Just Chris said Mikko gets his first as a Cane tonight in the first period. Matt says Svech stays hot from last game, Svech in the first. We also have from Brandon says, I'm going to go with Brent Burns in the first.
Burnsy.
On that shot from the point. Will Park says Taylor Hall in the first on a feed from Svech.
Looking to go 2 for 2. That's the Will that said he got it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Will Parks. We also have a Kokoniemi first goal, assisted by Hall and Svechnikov.
All vibes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we're all on top of this thing today. So a lot of great suggestions so far. Also, we have another Mikko Rantanen in the first period as well. So yeah, we got a couple of Mikko, a couple Taylor Hall.
Chase on Twitter says Taylor Hall first. Dennis, you know what's up next.
What's that? You
have to give your prediction. You're reading everyone else's. Who do you think?
Who'd you predict?
I'm gonna bring it home.
Oh,
I'm batting cleanup here.
Tie it in here. We actually a brick just said Ghost. Shane Goss.
It's always crazy when we read like 20 or 30 predictions and we have the official contestants and you and I both pick, and then somebody like Ghost gets picked once. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like he should be picked more often than that. But there's a bunch of options on this team. They got a lot of scoring threats.
336 said, I can tell you who's not scoring for us tonight. Natchez or Drury.
Tavo as well.
There it is. I'm actually going to go a little off the beaten path on this one. Give me Jackson Blake in the first period. Jackson Blake on a little backdoor redirect from Mikko Rantanen. A little 2-on-1. Mikko Rantanen just slides across. Only thing to do, Jackson Blake's got to keep a stick on the ice.
Blake is skating a lot with Aho and Rantanen.
Yeah.
How about that for your rookie year?
There you go, youngin.
There you go. Just try to keep up, right? Don't hold us back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jackson Blake in the first.
All right, I think people know which way I'm going. Mikko Rantanen in the first.
Yeah.
Bar down rocket from a mile away. This is the one. This is the one that they're going to show on highlight films 1,000 times, 100 years in the future after Rantanen becomes a Canes legend, right? When they're doing this is how they put together the 4-time cup-winning Canes. The first home game in the first shift, a rocket bar down from distance for the Moose. Everybody work on your Moose calls. When it happens, I want the whole crowd to erupt in a Moose call. And if you don't know what a moose sounds like, check it out on YouTube. It is equally parts kind of like annoying sounding and hilarious. Moose, Mikko Rantanen, rocket from deep. The kind that makes everybody go, oh, yeah, give him $14 million a year. that kind of shot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to Chad, who's also with me in the first on Mikko Rantanen for our first goal scorer predictions. Should be a fun game tonight. Should be fun. Feedback frenzy as well. That's what's coming up next right here on The Drive.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Natchez and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those two guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, man, been to Sharky's lately?
Yeah, man, I was there last night with you.
Oh, yeah. The wings and the burgers are killer. They have so many beers it's hard to choose, you know?
I know. You know, they got trivia on Tuesdays and luck of the draw darts on Sunday, man. I love them both.
Yeah, I love that place, man.
You know what, man? I think Sharky's may be the best bar in the world.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Let's go grab a beer.
Sharky's at the corner of Delta Lake Drive and Durham Road, open 7 days a week.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come in, throw it in, and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you, hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands us apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there. If you ever need us, give us a call. Visit our website at newcombandcompany.com. As you always hear us say, your comfort is our business.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Now the Canes with 34 seconds left. Back in. Rantanen waits. Svechnikov, he scores! What a setup by Mikko Rantanen! Andrei Svechnikov's second of the game have come from the new additions. What a pass by Mikko Rantanen to spot Shesterkin was out of it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If that exact play just happens tonight at the Lenovo Center, words. I don't know what I have none. It is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is also time for, here on The Drive, a feedback frenzy. This is where Dennis peruses all the comments, the feedback we get from so many of you online, YouTube comments and the like, picks the best responses, arguments, debates, questions, whatever you bring to the table, brings them on air for us to react to. Dennis, go ahead.
A couple more quick goal scorer predictions for the Kings tonight. First goal scorer, we had Travis saying Taylor Hall in the first. Fetch is going to give him back an assist.
I like that. I like the you scratch my back, I scratch yours nature of that.
4 of it. Also, Jocelyn says, number 11, Jordan Stahl in the first, going to be a shorty.
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
If it's right, you need to buy a lotto ticket. If you get Stahl on a shorty to open the scoring, did they say first period?
Yeah.
Goodness. I mean, if that happens, buy 2 lotto tickets. You might win both.
All right. We had a lot of conversations yesterday leading up to Duke versus North Carolina, especially about UNC basketball. And then we had the conversation yesterday between John Shire and Hubert Davis. And also, does North Carolina have the it factor? Does Hubert Davis have that it factor as a coach? This one comes from Mr. B Mick 79. Because you asked, what's the opposite of it factor? He said the opposite of it factor is the NIT factor, as in the other tournament in March.
That's actually
NIT,
wildly clever, and I'm mad I didn't think about it myself.
That's hilarious.
I said out loud, UNC is not a tournament team, and it might be because what is the opposite of it? What's the opposite of an it factor? Because they had so many games where they had leads and they couldn't close, or they just didn't play their best in a big moment. I'm like, what's the opposite of an it factor? The NIT factor, the not it factor, was sitting right there for me.
Right there.
If you have it, you go to the NCAA tournament. If you have not it, you go to the NIT. It's right there, and I missed it. Credit to the listener.
Credit. Tons of credit. This one actually comes from Rome's 8180. You mentioned yesterday about how UNC has lost several close games.
6 of them.
Rome says this. You can say that if UNC had won a couple of their close losses, their season would look completely different. But they're actually lucky they don't have more losses. They barely beat Boston College, UCLA, Georgia Tech, NC State, and Notre Dame. They barely beat Dayton after being down 21 points. They may have fumbled away 6 games, but they also won 6 games that they could have fumbled away. Their record reflects their mediocrity.
All great points.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
The only thing I would push back on is when I see what I believe, right, and obviously all of this is objective, but when I see what I believe is the more talented team kind of escape with a win, I look at that as like they avoided disaster. When the more talented team loses a game that they escape with, I'm going like, that's a real shame. So it did, especially early on in the non-conference schedule, because they were losing to the big bad bullies they had scheduled, right? The top 25 teams, and escaping with wins from all their other games. I was going like, man, they're barely buying time to figure it out. Start losing to Stanford and Pitt and some other, also-rans in the ACC. You're no longer buying time. So I hear everything you said, and I agree with a lot of what you said. It's just, I still thought they were the better or more talented team in many of the close games that they did win.
Also, we had the conversation earlier again about, even today, about Duke versus Carolina. Which team will handle the emotions and all that stuff earlier. It's already up on our YouTube page from earlier today. But a teddy bear says this on YouTube. I'm a pessimist, so as a Duke fan, I'm expecting UNC to be hotter than NC State was on Monday. Even though if I was a neutral, I'd think Duke wins by 20+. That's a Duke fan saying that.
Well, and by the way, that's what a rivalry is.
Sure.
Where you're like, if you take those same players and put them in a different program, I think we win by 20. But in this scenario, that's not how it works. That's not how rivalries work. Guess what? Ohio State. Did you see Ohio State in the college football playoff? They looked like a wagon, right? They were going downhill like a freight train. Did you see them when they played a bad Michigan team? Michigan won. You take those same Michigan players with the same talent and the same record and put them in like a Northwestern uniform, I think Ohio State wins that one by 30. But because it was Michigan and rivalries are different, Michigan wins. And I'm not saying that UNC is going to win, but I'm saying like that's the appropriate thought of, no, they're going to try to do everything they can, and it's going to be different, and they're going to be more complicated, more confident because it's Duke and UNC. I think that's a proper thought. It's not pessimistic; it's realistic by the Duke fan.
So again, there's a lot of conversation on the between Duke and Carolina on the YouTube chats. So there's so much more I can dive into.
Everybody, if you want to mix it up, you know where to go. Go find those videos and jump into the comments. You'll find some people that probably agree with you and disagree with you, and you guys can hash it out there.
Some really good debates. Jump in there, be part of the community, including you had the point yesterday. You had the take that the Carolina Panthers should go all in after T. Higgins. If not him, Chris Godwin. This one comes from Marcus White, saying to you, I disagree. If we establish a truly good defense and our only hole is QB, we can manage. Have a great QB and horrible defense is just a repeat of the second half of this past year. We could have won more games because Bryce played better, but our defense couldn't stop teams late in the games.
I mean, I hate to be this guy. How many times did Bryce Young throw for like 250 yards? Like he played better, but it's by comparison to what we were seeing from Bryce. The offense was not lighting it up. They were finding their mojo with like one possession games in the fourth quarter, but they weren't. Bryce wasn't lighting it up. Bryce Young can play significantly better, and the offense can be significantly more productive than they were, even in the second half when it felt like they were playing well. The other thing is a great defense with a hole at quarterback. I mean, you have to be all-time great to make that work. There are teams that search for a quarterback for 20 years and just keep throwing darts at it, and they don't get it right. I mean, look, yes, you can win defense first. We're talking like Ravens with Dilfer. That's one of the best defenses to ever live. Brad Johnson with the Bucs. It's one of the best defenses to ever live. The Broncos, when Peyton Manning was a shell of his former self, it's one of the best defenses of the last 20 years. Like, if you think you can put that together by like, hey, if we don't pay T. Higgins $22 million, $25 million a year, we can put together an all-time great defense, then do that. But I think that's probably even more unlikely than putting together an all-time great offense. What else you got?
All right, so on that same conversation regarding T. Higgins, this one comes from Smokey.
Okay,
This one comes from Smokey. T. Higgins is a great receiver, but I don't think he's worth the money he's seeking. Depends on if Panthers want to give Young a security blanket like Thielen, or if they have faith in Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, and Sanders. Having a true number one wide receiver makes sense, but they have to be fed, and our offense isn't meant to feed one guy. It's meant to run the ball, attack intermediate areas on the field, and play action passing. Now, if Jefferson or Chase is available, obviously you go after them. Higgins, I don't know.
If Jefferson or Chase are available, goodness, I guess would be the how.
That's a price tag that no one could afford.
No one, that's true too. I don't know if this offense isn't designed to feed a number one. I mean, if you look at what Mike Evans and Chris Godwin did in the 1 year that Canales was calling the plays, Mike Evans had 15 touchdowns, I think. It was crazy amount of touchdowns and a bunch of targets. And Chris Godwin was significantly better than anyone else that's on the Panthers right now. So they had to share targets. There's, just because you run the football, you still need a number one wide receiver to keep teams honest. The other thing, I'm trying to think of going back to how much confidence do you have in Xavier Legette and like.
Yeah, the young rookies, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Jatavian Sanders, these young rookies elevating from year one to year two.
I have hope. I don't have confidence. I have signs of hope. I don't have, I'm going to depend on them. Xavier Legette and Dennis, I read the list to Dennis the other day. The amount of first-round wide receivers that had less than 500 yards receiving in their rookie year in the last, 20 years, this century probably, the list is not one you want to be on. There are very few. Matter of fact, you could say two. Mike Williams and Jamison Williams were really the only two that have turned into anything you want on your roster. So, and there were 20 other names. So I'm not confident Xavier Legette. I'm a big fan of Coker, but what do you have? 480 yards? I'm a big fan of Thielen, but he's going to be 35. There's very little to be confident in. I'm hopeful for quite a bit. I would be very confident in T. Higgins. I would be confident in that dude. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'd also be confident in Miller Lending, and you should be as well. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And here's where you can be confident in Miller Lending. You can be confident that it's not a one-and-done transaction, right? You go out and get your mortgage from Miller Lending and no closing cost loan. It's not cool, I'll never talk to you again. It's, hey, the no closing cost loan, that mechanism, that tool that they have should make you aware that in the future, if rates drop, call them back up. No cost out of your pocket, no cash out of your pocket. Zero means zero when it comes to costs and fees. So if rates drop just a little bit, or if they drop in just a little bit of time, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, call Miller Lending back up and refinance and get that lower monthly rate with no cost to you. That's what a no closing cost loan does. That's why you hear about people using Miller Lending not once, not twice, a whole bunch of times as rates continue to drop if they drop. What you want to do is establish that relationship and that trust so Gordon Miller and everyone at Miller Lending continues to help you out. The number to call to start that relationship, if you haven't done so already, is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. It's that easy to remember, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting five, including some good and bad news at the same darn time for the ACC. Stick around.
99.9 The Fan and Buffalo Brothers want you to be our big game VIP. Starting Monday, listen mornings from 9 to 10 during Next Up and afternoons during The Drive with Tim Donnelly to qualify for our football finale grand prize. Our big game VIP scores a reserved table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail February 9th and a $300 gift card. Big game VIP qualifying starts Monday. And remember, don't wait till the last minute to order your big game food. Buffalo Brothers is taking pregame orders now. Visit their 5 Triangle locations or buffbrothers.com.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. And there's no time like now to stop what you're doing and join with the K.O. Cancer Fund in the fight against all cancers affecting women. Now through February 1st, Triangle Area Bojangles are donating all proceeds from Bowberry biscuit sales to the K.O. Cancer Fund. Just buy a Bowberry biscuit. You'll be doing some good and getting something good. So what are you waiting for? Hurry, it's bow time.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is the gift for every adventurer. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Voted best jeweler. Learn more at baileybox.com.
Tired of hearing this from your local tire place?
Sorry, we can't fix it. Take it to Dauntless.
This year, skip the middleman and take your car straight to Dauntless Transmissions if you want quality work done right the first time. Transmissions, engine, or brake work, or just a regular tune-up. If it's broke, Dauntless will fix it. For quality work done with the kind of experience that works for you, take it to Dauntless Transmissions first. Go to dauntlesstransmissions.com to book your visit today. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Nice and mild out there this afternoon with temperatures in the lower 60s. Tonight, a couple of spotty showers possible. We'll have a low of 49, and then mainly cloudy, windy, and warm Friday with a high of 75. Showers will likely arrive after sunset.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 168 points to 44,882.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, as soon as we hit 15,000 YouTube subscribers on our 99.9 The Fan YouTube channel, one of those subscribers, and we'll give you details on how we'll choose and how you can make sure you're in the running, one of those subscribers will win a Seth Jarvis signed puck. That's Carolina Hurricanes' Seth Jarvis signing the puck. So if you want that, get your friends, get your family, get people you know that like local sports, college basketball, the Canes, the Panthers, whatever it is, to subscribe to 99.9 The Fan's YouTube channel and check us out. Wave. I'm waving right now to those of you on the live stream. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now we'll jump into the starting five, and as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Murphy to throw, looking to the left, nobody open, looks back to the right, fires down the sideline for Jordan Moore. He's got it! It's a touchdown with no time on the clock. The Blue Devils have won.
How about that? This is an ACC conversation that we have lined up for number 5. When's the last time you think we were just coming into generic ACC conference talk and you played a Duke football highlight?
Yeah, walk-off win.
There you go. Obviously, last year was pretty cool, but before that, it probably was a while. The ACC and ESPN, mostly ESPN, but the ACC was a part of it, have decided that the 2027 opt-out in the ACC's media grant of rights, the agreement that allows Disney, essentially ESPN, to broadcast ACC sports. The opt-out at 2027 will not be taking place. They will not be opting out. They had until February to decide. Instead, it will go the length of the entire agreement to 2036, which means no change in the media rights deal for the ACC between now and 2036. That's a long time. To me, there's two main things, and we're going to dive into this deeper towards the end of the show. But there's two main takeaways. One, the ACC isn't going anywhere. Okay, this grant of rights prevents the ACC from getting Pac-12, right? Like, you're not going to have a mass exodus. Your stability, your security in the future is there. The second part is, I don't know how good they're going to be. They're going to be around. The ACC isn't going anywhere. This could be something that now becomes an obstacle towards them chasing down the Big Ten and SEC in the eyes of many in college sports. Because if you opt out, then all of a sudden you can sell your media rights deals once again, potentially bring in a larger amount of money per team. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, right? So you're locked into the amount of money you've been getting. The one added caveat is you're not locked into spending the money you've been getting in the same way you've been spending the money. So till 2036, the pie will be the same size. ESPN is giving you your same money pie. How you divide it up, that's up to the ACC. And they're still maybe negotiating or deciding on if teams that maybe bring more to the table or appear to bring more to the table, the Clemsons, the FSUs, the UNCs, the et cetera, might get a larger slice of the pie than those that are maybe more being carried. We're talking the Boston Colleges, the Syracuses, and the likes. We'll talk more about it a little bit later on. But the ACC going nowhere. That is number 5. Let's jump to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Cam Newton.
You put a person up on a pinnacle.
There's Cam Newton right there for you. Cam Newton, NFL MVP, Carolina Panther. You know who Cam Newton is. Auburn, Heisman Trophy winner. Now media member. And when you get on the shows with Stephen A. and ESPN, you need to say things that get the people riled up. And that's exactly what Cam did. He was asked, would you trade your MVP for a Super Bowl? And his answer was no. Here is Cam's explanation.
I ask you this question, and just to pose this thought: what's more important, impact or championships? You look at a guy like Allen Iverson, or you stood up on the table and blah 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 blah. Everybody's not going to be Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's not going to be these individuals who have the luxury of saying, hey, I not only dominated this sport, but I also have championships to back it. Like, let me remind you, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Respectfully, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So, yes, when you look at those guys and you say, okay, what's more important? Would you have preferred to win a Super Bowl? I think that's the humble approach. But if we're being honest, the impact of you holding yourself accountable to say everybody has a responsibility to do. And you can say as an MVP award winner or an All-American, you've held yourself or you've held your end of the bargain down. And that's what it really comes down to for me. I know that's not the popular pick. I'm trying to be popularized. But my take is I'm taking individual success because I did my job. Football is not about one guy trying to do 11 jobs. It's 11 guys doing one job. And if everybody does their job best, famous words of our coach Belichick, just do your job.
That's not going to be very popular, and he said it, right? He's not trying to be popularized. I think what he was getting at is I would rather have an MVP than be carried to a Super Bowl. I think the way most people would answer that question is not like to win a Super Bowl would like be you were one of the people that drove to the Super Bowl over an MVP. It's interesting. I think more people, if they were being honest, would be on Cam's side than not. I think I'm wildly competitive. I'd be Super Bowl over everything. But then you think about it like this. Would you rather have Eli Manning's career or like Lamar Jackson's career?
Well, Jackson's career is not done yet.
No, but just up to this point, right? Because he's a two-time. I'm just thinking of a two-time MVP that doesn't have a Super Bowl. There's not many of them out there. Would you rather be Eli or Lamar? It's I think when you start putting names on it is when it becomes more interesting, because like Cam is throwing out like, oh, Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl. I'm going like, yeah, so does Matt Stafford. Asking would you rather have an MVP or being Trent Dilfer's career is different than would you rather have an MVP or be Matt Stafford's career, right? You have to get more specific there. So putting names on it gives you more of a parameter.
I mean, Matt Ryan has an MVP. Yay.
Matt Ryan has an MVP.
What impact?
Would you rather be Matt Ryan or Trent Dilfer?
Probably Dilfer. No one thinks of Matt Ryan's impact ever.
No one thinks of Trent Dilfer's
really.
impact. The impact you have.
Won a Super Bowl. That's
do you know what's Trent Dilfer's legacy?
Won a Super Bowl.
Every time a team starts a season without a good quarterback, they go, "We could win." They won with Trent Dilfer. That's not a great legacy to have. Like you're the patron saint of winning with a below-average quarterback. Like, I don't know if that's what you want everyone talking about to say about you.
I can say I got a ring on my finger.
Yeah, but also like you don't think a mic drop is I was NFL MVP? Like that's, to me, that is equally like if anyone is talking trash to you, say I'm an MVP. That's pretty good mic drop also.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you have an MVP. How'd that 28-3 lead work out for you? Oh wait, it didn't. That's what you're known for, Matt Ryan.
Exactly, which is why I think it matters if you are the one that's carrying or you're the one that's being carried. Because, like, say you are, let me think of a perfect example here. Say you are Van Jefferson, and you're like, I got the ring. And they're going to say, like, oh, yeah, how does it feel wearing Matt Stafford's ring on your finger? How does it feel having Aaron Donald's ring on your finger? Like, there's different ways to think about it.
That's how it feels, heavy.
So is an MVP trophy. I don't think, like, the ideal is to have both. They're both awesome. If you had to choose, I'm choosing Super Bowl, but I would acknowledge there's shades of gray if I'm like just a member of a team that won a Super Bowl versus one of the few guys that won a Super Bowl. I'm trying to see every angle on this one. I don't think it's as black and white as everybody's making it out to be. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Now the Canes with 34 seconds left. Back in. Rantanen waits. Svechnikov, he scores! What a Leafs' second of the game have come from the new additions. What a pass by Mikko Rantanen to spot Shesterkin was out of it.
The Four Nations Tournament Cup, what are we calling it? The Four Nations event is coming up, which is the hockey kind of midseason tournament. I think it's awesome. I think the NHL is doing a great job kind of letting players go. But the teams announced their leadership, their captain, and some of them called it assistant captain. I'm going to call it alternate captain.
Yeah, it's alternate.
I don't know. Maybe an intern put it in there wrong. Because I did see Team USA put alternate. Anyway, the Finnish team, the Finland team, Team Finland, put out their leadership. Barkov is the captain.
Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers.
Two of the alternate captains. Brand new Carolina Hurricane, Mikko Rantanen. Longtime Carolina Hurricane, Sebastian Aho. First of all, you're right.
Hey, congrats.
Clap it up. Congrats.
Seriously.
That I can't think of anything cooler in sports than representing your country. I genuinely think that is awesome. If whatever country you are, as long as you're, doing the right thing and representing the right way, I think that's cool. The Olympics to me is awesome.
Here's the thing. I will not be rooting for your team, though.
Absolutely not.
I hope you individually do great and that you carry that momentum when you come back in a Kane sweater. But I'm not rooting for you specifically.
I don't even care. I don't care if you produce at all. I care. I would appreciate it if y'all built back the chemistry you had in juniors when you were representing Finland like 10 years ago. I do see value in Aho and Rantanen doing everything together, right? I see value in them traveling together. I see value in them practicing together for Four Nations when everybody else is getting a little bit of a break, a little bit of a downtime in the middle of the season. The fact that they'll be on the ice playing with each other is awesome, right? It's they're is it 10%? Is it 5%? Is it 15% of how good a team is? I don't know. Is it 50%? How much you get along matters, right? And for those of you that haven't, new episode of Pack Therapy, the podcast I co-host with Casey Morcell, former NC State point guard, is out now. Came out earlier this week. But Casey has said it a few times. Like, they need to hang out. He's looking at this year's NC State team. They need to hang out together more. They need to go to dinner more. They need to play video games together more. They just need to hang out more. That it translates. It some people, I don't know if it logically adds up. The better friends you are away from the field of competition, the better you play together on the field of competition. I don't know why, but I've seen it happen enough that I'm 100% sure it happens. So Aho and Rantanen doing more and more and more things together, it's just good for building that chemistry. And it is cool, and you're right. Congratulations. It's an honor for them to do it. Now make sure you don't get too close with too many other people, unless, I don't know, right? They say that the big three Heat were put together at the Olympics. If there's some other really good Finland player out there looking for a new home, make sure you come back with a, hey, here's what they're looking for to old Eric Tulsky, the GM. Hey, guys, what do you think of this? Can we make it happen? Just like reportedly, that's what, Wade was saying to Pat Riley. Just so you know, LeBron James. What? Just so you know. That's number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us. Found pulled in by Lubin. Here come the Tar Heels the other way. Oh my goodness, Ian Jackson with a tomahawk in transition over the top of Salas.
Foster to the right, Cooper to the corner, Knipple again. Why not? Timeout Miami. 12 straight.
UNC at Duke on Saturday. The lead up, the excitement, the build up. It's growing and growing and growing. It's 6:30 on Saturday. It's going to be a really, really fun game. And I said this earlier, but I truly do mean it. Thank goodness this is a rivalry game. Thank goodness it is a game where we've seen it time and time and time again throughout the history. Teams can ebb and flow, right? Duke and UNC, for as much as it feels like they're always a top 5 team in the country, both of the programs, it's not the case, right? Some years you have down years, some years you have peak years. How many times have we seen one of the two come in as a absolute juggernaut wrecking ball, and maybe the other team is dealing with a down year. But then you get in this game, you get in this rivalry, and suddenly, like, the team having the down year is knocking down shots because rivalries are like the funhouse mirrors, right? Everything isn't the same when you get in these opportunities. So UNC, they're having a down year. Let's, starting what was it, 2-3 weeks ago on this show, we started saying they don't look like a tournament team. Maybe a month ago, they don't look like an NCAA tournament team. Maybe we're giving them too much benefit of the doubt. And starting before the season, we were saying Duke and their talent looks pretty unbelievable. I don't know if that matters a ton going into Saturday, especially when you look at the experience factor. Tyrese Proctor, Caleb Foster. And Foster hasn't been playing a ton of minutes. Those are the only two guys from Duke with any experience in this rivalry.
Yeah. I don't think Foster, because of his injury, played in the second game last year when it was at Cameron because he was hurt.
I hadn't counted, but I am sure RJ Davis has played in this game more than the entire Duke team combined.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with Seth Trimble. Seth Trimble has played in this game, assuming he didn't get hurt and was at least available, because I don't know off the top of my head. He would have played in 4 editions, and Proctor could have, never mind. Trimble's not old enough. I was thinking he's 1 year older. But RJ Davis for sure. Jalen Withers. We don't know if Jalen Washington's going to be playing, but if he does, all of these guys, Seth Trimble, Elliot Cadeau played in it last year. They have so much more experience in the rivalry than Duke does, and they have to lean on that, right? They have to lean on that. They have to be more comfortable. UNC won both of them last year because Duke is going to have other advantages, right? They're going to have like the whole more talent advantage. They're going to have the more NBA talent advantage. They're going to have the we're playing better right now advantage. We're going to have they're going to have all of these other advantages. So UNC has to lean on what they have at their disposal, their advantages. So go ahead and throw experience on their side. And also, at some point, and Dennis, you can let me know if I'm going too far here. At some point, you're going to see UNC. They're going to reach a turning point. And what I mean by that is, or not a turning point, a fork in the road. Got to say enough is enough at some point in time. Right? How many, I saw SVP, Scott Van Pelt, saying like, I don't know, it's North Carolina. Since when is it okay for UNC to be just okay? You're going to see former players. Theo Pinson hosts a podcast. He's talking about their leadership. You heard earlier today on this show, Jay Williams, who called the UNC game, a former Duke player, talking about the lack of cohesiveness and the fragmentation at the end of big games for UNC. Eventually, enough is enough, and you just got to get angry and do something, right? Dodgeball. Get angry out there, right? I'm talking to the guy with the goggles. That's got to happen at some point. Might as well be against your rival. And then Duke, for this game, we're going to talk about it a lot more tomorrow. The intensity is everything for Duke. Duke needs experience because they are so young, because they haven't had any experience in games like this. They need to become comfortable in it because you are going to be playing in bigger games in the postseason, and you don't want to flinch there because you don't know how you respond. It's going to be a really fun game. Really fun game. Speaking of really fun games, let's jump to number 1.
Go one! Martinook will play it away out in front. Jarvis, he scores! Jordan Martinook, heavy lifting behind the net, and Seth Jarvis snaps it home, and it's 4-0. Carolina throwing haymakers early here in the third.
Canes tonight versus Blackhawks. That is a great way to describe that, by the way. Both goals early in the third, haymakers. They were knockout punches. They were, let's end this one early and take away any signs of life from the Rangers, which is something that I think the Canes have not always been the best at over the last year or two, right? They play extremely well. I'm not saying they always lose those games, but slamming the door and making it so you don't have to sweat it out all the way to the final buzzer is luxurious. It's such a added benefit of how they were playing, and it was just a fun game. Now tonight, Blackhawks. At the risk of being accused of being the guy that jinxes everything, the Blackhawks are not the Rangers. They're not as good, and I'm not saying the Rangers are unbelievable, but the Blackhawks are, they give up fourth most goals in the league per game. They just lost Taylor Hall.
They stink.
There you go. Dennis said it. So now Jinx police out there, go after him or me. I don't care. Looking at this game, there are opportunities to really continue building momentum. Also, there are opportunities for expectations to run away a little bit. So we did this yesterday, or before their last game, which was the Rangers game. I'm going to do it again here. This is the home debut of Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. The buzz is significant. And by the way, we I could give you numbers on that. Like, we see how many people stream games. We see the video numbers, how many people are watching on YouTube and all of that. Canes fans right now are buzzing every time we mention Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. It is, and rightfully so. You make a trade like that and you're the fan base, you should be going nuts. Tonight at the Lenovo Center is going to be electric. Dennis, over under total points for Rantanen and Hall combined. That is a realistic, I will be pleased if they get at least blank points. That's the number of going into the last game, going into the Rangers game. You said 1.5.
Yep.
I agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
1 assist apiece. That's 2. They hit the over. I think everybody left happy. What is kind of the break-even point for tonight in their home debut?
I think goals, half.
Okay.
And I think total points, I'll still go with 1.5.
So just getting a little more specific with which points there are. So a goal from either Rantanen or Hall, and
throw another point in there.
Combined, could be another goal, could be another assist, whatever it is.
But I think if one of those guys gets a goal tonight, it's only going to magnify it even further.
I agree with that. And also, so everything you just said, I'm with. I also want to see at home the impact, and I think I underestimated it, just the impact they have on the movement, right? Like the puck movement, they seem to be in the right spot, high hockey IQ guys. I want to continue seeing how that impacts the team. I said this yesterday. Svetch looked awesome. I don't think it's a surprise that he looked awesome when Taylor Hall and Mikko Rantanen were setting him up for goals. And Kotkaniemi on that line with Hall looks really, really good when it was him, Svetch, and Hall out there. If they can continue, our expectations for them are what they are. We just talked about them. At least 1 goal and at least 2 points. That's our expectations for them. I also want them to continue raising expectations for the players that are sharing the ice with them, right? It's the good players, and because I played football, I always relate it back. A good quarterback, actually, I'll go with this. I saw somebody posting this today, Justin Herbert, right? And it was Justin Herbert raises the level of his players. And then it was all of the stats. It was like Keenan Allen with the Bears, right? No longer any good. But Keenan Allen when he was with Herbert, look how much he raised him. Lad McConkey shows up as a second-round pick or whatever he was. Goes over there, he's playing great. They're giving Justin Herbert the credit for other guys' stats. I want that to be the case with Rantanen and Hall. I want to be able to look at Svetch and go, he was averaging X amount of points per game pre their arrival, and look, it multiplied by 1.7 since they showed up. I want that to continue as well. So that's kind of my added caveat to the expectations for those guys. But the overall point being, don't expect a hat trick tonight.
I'm not gonna lie, if you get Mikko Rantanen that scores, let's say in the first 5 minutes
first goal
of the game,
score prediction right here.
I mean, if that happens, just the Mikko, have the chance going out to Lenovo, be like, you know what, I could get used to this for the next 8 years.
I'm doing moose calls. That's actually
I got nothing more to add to that.
I'm pretty pleased with that moose call.
I was listening to him on YouTube. I'll let you keep that. I'll let that be your bit. And I think people were driving down the road going, "What was that?"
Mikko Rantanen, his nickname is Moose.
His nickname is Moose.
For those of you that didn't pay a ton of attention to the Avalanche over the last 10 years, his nickname is Moose. So if he makes a big play, I think a moose call would be appropriate. No? Yes? Maybe? Yeah. That's how it sounds. I don't know. In case you can't tell.
Nothing.
I'm pretty excited about the Canes and the way things have looked since the trade. I'm pretty excited. So one more time, and then Dennis has something to tell you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. What could you do with an extra $75,000?
I'm so tempted to cut in with another Moose call, but I'm not going to.
I'm sure
Continue
you are.
with your read.
Imagine if you were a Moose, or just yourself. What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards, or maybe start that home remodel that you've been thinking about. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner out there has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out, paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
We need some numbers game contestants. So why don't you go ahead and call in right now. 919-860-5326 if you want to play the numbers game. And potentially, if you can come away with the victory, get some Jason Aldean tickets. Coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park in Raleigh on August 21st for the Full Throttle Tour with special guests Nate Smith, Ray Lynn, and DJ Silver. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m., but you don't have to wait. You could win them right now. Call in. He's for Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. If you call in now, you could be a contestant. Numbers game next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Totally Tubular Festival featuring Right Set Fred, Men Without Hats, Haircut 100, The Tubes, The Motels, In Emotion, The Escape Club, and Musical Youth. Friday, July 11th, Red Hat Amphitheater, Raleigh. Get tickets Friday at LiveNation.com. Presented by Live Nation.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit Solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed Upfit Solutions from Van Products.
If you needed one more reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler, get this. Diamonds Direct maintains involvement in the entire diamond process and handpicks the best just for you. You see, any jeweler can claim to be a direct importer or have so-called partnerships overseas, but Diamonds Direct has special access that others simply don't have. Nobody can get closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Indeed, Diamonds Direct is recognized in the industry as a world diamond powerhouse with unrivaled buying power and decades of inside connections that go back to their roots as actual diamond cutters. Bottom line, Diamonds Direct is without question the jeweler here that can truly offer the absolute best value. Make no mistake, Diamonds Direct refuses to be undersold on GIA certified diamonds. And we challenge you, let us prove it. Diamonds Direct, your source for the ultimate diamond value. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics. And proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Aw, man, now I want wings.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And I'm looking forward to the question we're going to ask to see who gets to go first. We have Taylor and Apex. We have Michael and Raleigh on the line. There are Jason Aldean tickets that will be the prize if they can win the numbers game. But as always, we ask a question, and the best answer, as chosen by our judge, our producer Dennis Cox, that person will get to go first. We'll start with Taylor and Apex. Taylor, are you ready to answer a question?
Yes.
All right. Just moments ago, we were talking about how Mikko Rantanen, the new Kane superstar's nickname is a moose. Is moose, not a moose. And I was doing my moose call. So, the person that gets to go first is whoever gives us the best moose call, as judged by Dennis Cox. The floor is yours.
Can you give me like 1 second? Because I'm just kind of surrounded by people. All right, I'm ready.
No, do it in front of everyone. Hey.
Oh, wait, he's going. Go ahead. That's not bad. It's more of a, if you go on YouTube for moose calls, there's more of like the growl, and then there's the call. That's more the growl, but I don't hate it. Michael and Raleigh, you are up next. Michael, are you there?
I am, yes.
All right, the same request goes to you. Give us your best moose call. That was pretty good too, Dennis. It's not easy. That one felt more authentic, but the other one had more grizzly tone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's up to you, Dennis.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is absolutely a tough one. I find it funny. I'm probably gonna go Taylor on this one.
Okay.
Our first moose sound. Because the fact that, hey, hold on, I want to get away from some people. Hey, you're on the radio here, buddy. Everyone can listen. I'm gonna go Taylor on this one. Fantastic.
Sometimes you do have that thought that like. Sometimes you forget on the radio that like, oh yeah, people can listen to this. So Taylor gets to go first. Taylor, but great job, both of you.
Both like phenomenal. By the way to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Way to step up to the plate.
Nobody was too cool. Nobody took themselves too seriously. Very proud of our listeners. But Taylor and Apex, you get to go first. Michael, despite a great moose call, you'll go second. Taylor, you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right. The categories are NFL, great year one kid. Those are rookies from this past year. NFL, played in Super Bowls but never won. NBA, pandemic team, that's the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Or NHL, Hurricanes only.
Let's go Super Bowl never won.
All right, these are all players, as the category obviously states, that made it to a Super Bowl but did not win a Super Bowl. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers.
1.
Correct. George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers.
85.
Correct. Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams.
1.
Incorrect. A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles.
84.
Incorrect. Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams.
Pass.
Edgerrin James, Arizona Cardinals.
32.
Correct. A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles.
80.
Incorrect. Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams. It's one of our more common mistakes. The wide receiver, your brain goes right to the 80s. They really don't wear 80s very much anymore. A.J. Brown, number 11 with the Eagles. And Jared Goff with the Rams, number 16. 15. Those were the two we were looking for, but you got Cam Newton, you got George Kittle, and Edgerrin James. So 3 is the number to beat. Solid showing. We'll see if it holds up. Stay on the line. That brings us to Michael in Raleigh. Michael, are you there?
I am, yes.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, great year one, kid. These are all rookies from the past year. NBA, the pandemic Olympic team. That's 2021 in Tokyo. Or NHL Hurricanes only. Those are the 3 you get to choose from.
Let's do NFL rookies.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You need 4 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders.
5.
Correct. Brock Bowers, Las Vegas Raiders.
89.
Correct. Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
7.
Correct. Malik Neighbors, New York Giants.
1.
Correct. Ladd McConkey, Los Angeles Chargers.
15.
Correct. Burr, 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 burr. That is a perfect score.
18 seconds.
18. That's not quite an all-time record, but pretty close.
That's pretty darn close.
I'll put my hand up. I did stumble through Las Vegas, Los Angeles Raiders. Either way, Michael, that is a win. That is a perfect score. If you feel so inclined, give us a celebratory moose call. Yes. Yes, Michael. Congratulations. You get the Jason Aldean tickets. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab the info to get you your prize. Yes. Not only the perfect score, the perfect moose call. Mikko Rantanen better score tonight. He better score tonight. And everybody listening right now, if you're going to be at the Lenovo Center enjoying the party, when Rantanen scores, just right there in your seat, big old moose call. Jason Aldean, by the way, tickets. There's no transitioning out of that. Yes. That's good. Play it again. Yes. That is such a good moose call. Jason Aldean coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park August 21st for the Full Throttle Tour. Special guests Nate Smith, Ray Lynn, and DJ Silver. Tickets on sale Friday. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. But that excellent moose call right there helped him win a pair, so he doesn't have to wait. That is, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Mikko Rantanen, the new superstar that the Canes just traded for, his nickname is Moose, which is where the moose calls came from. It's not completely random. It's just mostly random, but not completely off the wall. And then we had some good sports there that participated. I may have to break that back out. If the next time Mikko has a big game, right? If he has like 2 goals, the next show we might have to do moose calls to see who goes first, or we can find some kind of prize. Now we're just having radio show planning conversations on air. Maybe we'll do a moose call competition. Get a whole bunch of people calling in. No? Maybe? Is that good radio? Maybe not. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a big game, by the way, tonight for the Canes. So, obviously, as fans, we can just sit back, relax, and have fun. But something like a home debut for Mikko Rantanen and for Taylor Hall, we said it earlier, you only get one chance at a first impression, and that goes in both directions. Rantanen and Hall, both free agents in the very, very near future. They're going to have a choice to, explore the options elsewhere or sign extensions here. It seems like Eric Tulsky, the GM, and the Canes are very interested in both. Definitely Mikko Rantanen, but I would assume Hall as well, being a part of the core moving forward. So, it's important that the environment, the home arena, all of that is kind of desirable, right? So, a first impression for the Caniacs, the Canes faithful out there, to show what type of a support that the players have, and in reverse, right? If they come out and score 3 goals, if Rantanen puts up a hat trick tonight, it's going to be really, really difficult for the Canes to explain to the fans why they didn't break the bank to keep Mikko Rantanen around, because that first impression will be pretty darn serious. So it's a big game tonight. It's not just one for funny moose calls, although it is one for funny moose calls. It's also yes. I wish I didn't yell yes, but I couldn't react. That would have been a perfect call if we just let that one rock. Couldn't help myself. What do you want?
I'll edit it.
Nah, that's so good. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something for the people.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with more coming up next.
Listen for the Did He Just Do That?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The Get That Out of Here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And a chance here was Aho. Are we kept in? Bouncing puck. Aho settles it down. He scores! What a quick release. Sebastian Aho on the board. And Carolina extends their lead to 3-0 in the third.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have some news involving, at least indirectly, the individual you just heard on that highlight, Sebastian Aho. The Carolina Hurricanes, and this comes directly from the Canes PR, they are calling up Ryan Suzuki from their AHL squad, the Chicago Wolves, which is a cool story in and of itself. We'll talk about that in a second. He is a forward and is expected to make his Canes debut tonight, which is, again, a cool story that we'll talk about, but also we can read the tea leaves, right? We can kind of assume that if they're bringing up a forward, that means a forward will not be playing. And we do know that Sebastian Aho was supposed to be a game-time decision due to an illness.
Yep. Showed up at the arena for morning skate, was sent home because of his illness, so he did not participate in the skate this morning. Also, Riley Stillman was sent down to Chicago. So, okay, you only have 6 defensemen.
They're
calling
play.
up the forward. There's probably a reason why. So it appears, by all accounts, that Sebastian Aho with the illness, which we saw Jack Roslovic miss this past game with an illness, but it looks like Ryan Suzuki, I mean, long journey for that young man to finally actually get to the NHL.
This is bittersweet because I do think it would be really cool to have Aho in the lineup for what is going to be an electric night tonight. It's the debut for his buddy Mikko Rantanen. So that's the bitter part of the bittersweet is Aho likely won't be in the lineup tonight, and you know, you always want your guy, right? And Aho is the Canes guy out there in cool moments like that. But the sweet part of the bittersweet is Ryan Suzuki has lived a hockey life. He drafted in 2019, and has had
first round pick.
The lows, the highs. I mean, some of the injuries that he's dealt with. It's not like, oh, remember that one year he sprained an ankle and missed a bunch of games. It's like he has a blind spot in his right eye from a high stick like 5 years ago.
Yeah, playing in juniors.
Which, I mean, freak accidents, right? Like you can't predict them. It's just bad luck. And that's just the kind of beginning for him. He's dealt with a ton of injuries to persevere and has ended up a AHL All-Star, has ended up a player that is productive at the AHL level. And, you know, being in the Canes system, it's not enough to just be productive at the AHL level to get called up because they traditionally have pretty good depth. So he hasn't had many opportunities, but now at the age of 23, he is going to make his NHL debut for the team that drafted him 6 years after he was a first-round pick, 28th overall. And obviously, Ryan Suzuki's ice time is not going to be the story of tonight because it happens to fall on the home debut for Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. But I mean, in his own story, this becomes one of the triumphant moments, right? I guarantee you, when he's in that tunnel waiting to go out on the ice, there will be emotions because that's just, you know, anyone that's ever tried to play sports at any level to reach the pinnacle, to reach the highest level of your sport is a massive accomplishment. Actually, Freddie Anderson's going to be honored tonight, the goalie, for his 500th game appearance, which came, what was it, Tuesday? Or even before that.
It's even before that.
Yeah,
I think actually his first game back from his injury was 500, but his second game in is when he got career 300.
So they are going to celebrate him tonight. Mm-hmm. And I was reading an article about that celebration, maybe even come from the Canes, I forget where. And they said, you know, even an appearance for 8 seconds or 8 minutes in an NHL game is something to be celebrated. And the fact that Freddie has been in 500 games is nuts. And it is. But also that the first part of that sentence is true also. I mean, you have to be the best 1% of the best 1% of the best 1% of athletes to sit on the bench in a professional sports game for one game, let alone actually get out on the ice and actually make it. So shout out to Ryan Suzuki for living out that all-time dream.
And by the way, for Freddie Anderson, 500 games, that's the equivalent of like a skater getting to 1,000, basically, for a goaltender, because goaltenders aren't playing every single night.
So there's, you know, the funny part is we started this show, and actually we are going to play the opening segment again, opening segment, right?
Second.
Second segment. hours ago, we talked about the Canes game tonight and all of the storylines that are going into it, with it being the return of Teuvo Teravainen back to the Lenovo Center for the first time since he departed the Canes. Taylor Hall playing against Chicago, which is the team that he was a member of until a week ago tomorrow. The home debut for Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, and they're both still looking for their first goals as Carolina Hurricanes. Like, all of these storylines, the Freddie Anderson honoring. And then since we had that segment, since we did that a couple hours ago, now you add in another player with another side storyline in Ryan Suzuki's culmination of this long, winding road through the juniors and minors and AHL and everything else. Finally gets to the big leagues tonight. It's just another thing to watch. Tonight is it's the night of stories for the Canes. And then on top of that, an opportunity for them to continue to play well and continue to, continue to build on the momentum they have. What do they want? 5 of their last 6, and you want to make that 6 of their last 7.
Yeah, 5-0-1.
5-0-1. Gosh, tonight it's every play I'm going to be like taking a note, right? As I watch and I'm writing down things for the show, it's like every single second I'm going to be going like, all right, Taylor Hall did this in his debut. Oh, look at that, Svech. He's staying hot. Oh, Suzuki's on the ice. Piotr on Freddie's big night does this. Like, every single moment is going to be an advancement of some story. I'm saying Teuvo with the hit. Did it look personal? Like, all of that is going to be just tracked throughout the entire time. Oh, did Taylor Hall just say something slick to one of his old teammates? Like, every single moment is going to be an advancement of one of the storylines.
I will say this, though. With no Aho in the lineup, the lines are going to be shuffled up again, and they've already been shuffled up with new additions and all that coming in, with Suzuki coming in. Don't be shocked if early in the game you see a little sloppy play. Do not be surprised.
Yeah, everybody's going to get to play with the new guys. Everybody.
Yeah, but it's also like, hey, what's your name again?
Yeah, nice to meet you. I am. I've seen that happen in football in the huddle. Like, the center gets hurt, guard moves to center, new guy comes in to play guard. They get to the huddle and they're like shaking hands with wide receivers. Like, nice to meet you. I was picked up off waivers 4 days ago. We haven't had a chance to meet. My name is so and so. It's not quite that, but it's kind of. Actually, Suzuki, it might be. He might be in warm-ups going like, Taylor Hall, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Suzuki.
Yeah, right.
You're new. Nice to meet you. I'll be on your right, hopefully. Go ahead and feed me the puck. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. More Canes coming up in Overdrive and obviously in Stormwatch and the game to come here on 99.9. But before any of that can happen, here's Dennis Cox.
Folks, I have something for you all to potentially win. It's back, and it's better than ever. Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. What's that thing, you say? It is a custom Caniacs motorcycle that you can win, folks. Yes, a custom motorcycle. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they're all teaming up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. It's simple. Go to caniacsbike.com to enter. Again, caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this custom beauty of a bike. It is custom built right here in Raleigh at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Great crew over there. Side note, the motorcycle that I own, that I bought from Tobacco Road, was actually designed at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Just want to let you know. And it's custom painted from Shiny Side Paint. Ashley, located right here in Raleigh, did a fantastic job. Canes colors, beautiful decals, all custom painted, custom built bike, truly one of a kind. Just go to caniacsbike.com. It'll be given away on the last home game of the year on the ice, but don't wait to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is coming to a close, but Overdrive is up next. We'll talk Duke UNC and Canes Blackhawks, those conversations from earlier in the show coming your way. Please subscribe to our YouTube. We want 15,000 subscribers so we can give you a Jarvis signed puck. And enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov,